All right, morning team. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're all good. All right, starting on a daily chart as always. You can see nothing's changed. All right, we're poking into this top level where we talked about we're either going to have a breakout or a failed breakout. You can see this is the structure right now. We're getting tight in here. All right, H1 still producing higher lows, as is the daily, but we're failing to break out. We had a drive up this morning. Fail. We had another one about a minute ago, drive up. I don't know if that was off news. I haven't been able to check. Look and fail. Okay, so this is our range. Our weekly range was set by the Monday low, Tuesday high. Very typical model here. We have to wait to see now. Are we going to see acceptance, or are we just going to continue to rotate? Is there going to be a fail breakout and back down to the other side and a puke? I don't know, but we are positioned and ready for both, right? That's what we have to do in a range. We have to just wait and see what's available. But remember, these are all-time highs up here, so we have to see what's coming next. If we move into the hourly chart, pull this up a bit. All right, you can see this week we are starting to create two pretty dense nodes, right? The first is up here between sort of 850 and sort of 820, somewhere up there. This is where we got stuck yesterday in the morning, and it's where we've sort of got stuck overnight, and it's also where we got stuck Friday. So quite a big node starting to develop there. When we lose that node, we've got this low volume node down here, which so far overnight has provided a support mechanism. If we lose that low volume node, we will likely come back down and test previous day point of control, previous day value area high. So here you can see the tops, sort of a triple top. The question is, if we dip down this morning, do we find a bid down here for the rally back to take out these stops at these highs? All right, that would be the first thing I'm thinking. Like, is it a dip here soaked and brought back up towards the highs? If we pop up and clean out these highs, does the pullback then hold for the RBS level, all right, for an extension out? Or is it instead a failed breakout and we come right back into range again? All right, because remember, we don't really want to buy the top side of this. So we could buy a dip back in if it sort of traps and holds, or we could buy the breakout pullback, but we don't want to buy up here, as all these buyers have found out. Same way as we don't want to sell down here. When we come to bottom sides of the range, you want to be covering, let it put in a higher low and go, right? Covering, let it put in a higher low and go. So that's the dance right now. No change in here, right? Your edges are basically all-time high down to sort of 560s. Those are your edges. That's what we're playing with at the moment. The tape does seem to keep getting a little bit wonky every now and again, so just be careful. Again, we're headline driven. You would have seen it overnight or at 4 o'clock. The taco trade, okay, we're extending the ceasefire indefinitely were the words. All right, like I said, I think Iran's got, and you guys won't like it, but I think Iran's got America in between a rock and a hard place, where they probably don't really want to go for an extended period of war, and they probably don't want to be there much longer, but they need the Strait open. And you know, Iran are enjoying being celebrities right now, causing disturbances to the rest of the world. So that's where we're at. All right, so you can see the GEX levels. We're in positive GEX right now, above 665. You can see these cool walls, right? These are resistance levels up here. The biggest one is 915. The second biggest one is this 875. Probably if we get over that and base, then we're probably looking for the extensions up into here, into 7120. I'd just be looking for the 7,000s, to be honest, to start with. 27,000, and then see how much of a drift. But I definitely don't want to enter at the open. Let this do whatever it is it needs to do at the open. Okay, you can see these levels marked out quite clearly. So third attempt up here at the moment, still getting stuffed right now, but no trade before the open. ES is looking pretty much exactly the same. All right, same kind of conditions here, lifting up, stuffing into these levels. We have relative weakness in ES because we're not up here right now, which is where it needs to get to. It needs to try and get back up there. So relative weakness in the ES today. You can see it on the tape. NQ up 0.84%, ES up 0.67%. So same story for ES. The question is, can it lift? We can put some GEX in here for you guys who are trading the ES. So you can just see these, we just wait for them to load. So again, positive gamma, holding the high volume node. Same as yesterday, holding dips. Gap fill would be down here, by the way, if it does fail. This is the range that we're building out at the moment since Friday. All right, you're about midpoint of the range in ES, so again, relative weakness over there. All right, Spider's going to look pretty much the same. All right, failing to break out at this midpoint right now. If we fail here, we come back down. If we find a bid here, we try and come back up. This is a pretty ugly looking chart right now, so you don't really want to deal in the middle as a day trader. So even though we're in a positive drift, I'd be very, very cautious at the highs. Qs look stronger, as you can see. All right, looks stronger here. Failed to break down, basing topside. If they're willing to hold, all right, then we've got an upside lift available if they're willing to hold. All right, Dixie still trying to find a bit of a bid to push higher right now, back testing this key level. Remember, this is where we broke down from. It's where bulls got trapped, broke down from. We're retesting it. If we stay heavy versus this, right, that would be upside relief for the market. If we reclaim this and go, it's not a good signal for the S&P. And where are you? Crude. Here we go. So starting to do the same kind of dance. All right, so look below and fail. We've built this liquidity. It's trying to get up into this block where the buyers got caught. All right, again, very, very sensitive to news right now, but the higher this goes, the more risk off the market is likely to be. VIX holding 19s now. So we talked about that level yesterday, 19s to 20. We got the overextension to 21, back into chop fest of 19s. Remember, all the time it's basing here, it's somewhat dangerous for this market. All right, MAG, Apple. Very slight gap up, but that's had a little bit of weakness yesterday. Remember, we had the CEO news, Cook leaving. This is the level right here. So do they hold this and create a new range out in this box, or do we start to slide all the way back down? To be seen, but this is starting to look a little bit more backside at the moment, unless it can reclaim 270s. Amazon, again, very much like the Qs, in a range, actually looks more like ES. So bottom side of the range, found a bid. Top side of the range, found a sell. Back to the middle point, great. Not very pretty to look at right now. Goog came out with new news, well, more news again this morning. I think it said like 90% of its code's now being made by AI, so we found a bid off that. That will squeeze back out. If it can hold up here, you can see it's got the ability to hold this pivot. All right, if it can reclaim this, this can be a trap to go higher. If they fail up here and come down, you can see the importance of this level developing down here into sort of 30s. That kind of level going to be very, very key for Goog to hold if it's going to continue upside momentum. Meta, that looks more and more like backside every time I look at it. All right, failed follow through, down into range. All right, getting very, very dangerous down here, just like Google that we looked at. So opening up, slight gap up. They need to get going here and reclaim the 80s, over 80s, and a base, maybe some strength. But at the moment, doesn't look too good. Some good profit. Well, I mean, it looks fantastic if we zoom out, but I just mean intraday pullback, and we have to see how it responds. Softy looks pretty good here. Microsoft, that's kind of move that the rest of the market needs that we're just talking about. All right, it started to base yesterday, so higher low in here versus this pivot. Can it take out the highs and get going? It looks pretty good right now, gapping up. Nvidia, this is the big one. Again, you want to be careful if this starts to get stuck. All right, we can see we haven't taken out these key levels up here yet. All right, we're in a channel up, grind up, but if this sets a lower high and we start to wash and come backside, oh my days, it's quite a long way back down to back test some key levels back into 190. So you want to be careful. Again, swirling headlines at the moment. Tesla caught a bid last week and it's just holding the top side of this range. All right, this is where you'll look above and fail, and we're testing the bottom side right now. So we'll see if they find dips here or if they fail this and need to come right back into 70s again. Software names continued to find a bid yesterday. You can see Oracle, fantastic. I mean, this long on Oracle has been a serious payer for us. We are long from right the way down into here, so we're looking really, really good. I've already trimmed some, just holding on now to see how high we can get. But it looks great. It looks great. Netflix starting to come into the levels where I said I might rebuy any undercut under here for a gap fill. So if we come and undercut this, all right, I'll be considering that move there. But I've already paid myself. We were long from 70s, paid myself into the hundreds, and we'll see if we undercut and hold and base, we'll look for another go. A lot of these names starting to come in a little bit. Hood as well. All right, cleared out the liquidity here. We'll see if it can hold a base over 80. If it does, I'll consider a reload, but I want to be careful on these riskier names. UNH, no, that's UUU. These are the energy names. I'm still long in these. These are starting to get going. Energy starting to find a bid, as is. I'm waiting for Oscar to come back in off UNH. Where's my UNH? All right, big gap up of earnings. Waiting to see if that comes back in and bases. And if it does, and we start to see a bid in healthcare, because we're yet to see that, then those are some energy and healthcare are the ones which I think are pretty depleted, right? We've gone long in software. We've made our money. I'm looking to see if there's a rotation into energy and healthcare next. Obviously, it depends on the broader market. Those have been the weaker names for this year, but there might be some swing opportunities starting to come if we see a rotation into those names. All right, if we start to see a rotation. I just wondered if that UNH was enough to get it going, to get that basket going. Okay, folks. Sorry, folks, needed a quick sip of the coffee there. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left to the open. All right, we don't want to get long in this red box. All right, we do not want to get long in this red box at the open. So just be smart, please. Just making sure I've got all my other charts looking good. Make sure you've gone through your routine and your prep, whatever it is you need to do, whether it's visualization or meditation or a quick journal or some kind of prep work so that you're ready for this open. I'm going to be very simply looking for two setups today: breakout and pull back to hold, breakout retest to hold to get long, or a fail breakout for a short back inside of the range, or if we wash down here, I'll consider a dip for that move back up. All right, that's what I'm looking for at the open. All right, one of these things to sort of set up, nothing else. Breakout retest, fail breakout. It's fairly simple, I would say. And we'll see how we go, everyone. We'll see how we go if we can get going here. It would be great if we could get going here today. Yeah, and smash that like button. We do giveaways as always. The quicker we get up there, the better. We're doing my funded futures giveaway today. If we can get to 1,000 likes. How important are the GEX levels in day trading? I mean, unfortunately, they've become more and more important because options traders and hedgers have seemed to move price around a lot, and especially more and more in futures recently. But did I used to look at them? No, I used to know where the big levels were, but the zero DTEs have really started to become more and more important. So it's just how it's been. Expect some chop here this morning. 10 seconds to the opening bell, folks, and then we will see what we get. No rush here. See if they take out the high here or not, or if they just instantly get slammed. There's the instant slam. It's pretty hilarious how wicky and washy this has been recently on the opens. Can it reclaim? No, it can't. Right back down we go into the grey box and VWAP. So failed attempt to move higher so far. Trying to find a bid here, failing 70s so far. Nothing really on the tape yet. There's sellers up at 900s, but we're nowhere near that right now. Here they come. Here come the buyers trying to get up towards the 900. Failing again at 885. All of the mag opening up green, but no follow through on the Qs. So no one wants to buy the high right now. No one wants to look for that breakout. Not yet anyway. And just nothing to do with it. Just a poor open here in a no man's land kind of area. this on there. Let this develop. So we just got to wait now and see what happens. Looks like they're trying to hold dips, but like we're not into this node down here to backtest. We're still at an area where we keep failing over and over again. It looks like they're trying to get that shove up. There was a buyer caught this morning up at 87s on that first opening drive. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. I'm certainly not touching this up here, not while they figure it out. Feels to me like they want the upside clear out. It's just how low do we come first is the best way of putting it. Do we need to come and back test sort of 750, 700s before we go up there? Would be the question I would pose at the moment. Is that what we need to do? No news scheduled for today either. Is the website working? Yeah, I believe it's working. Let me check. Flowzonetrader.com. Yeah, it's working. My website's working. All right, here's the wash back down. So failing those highs. Here is VWAP. And if they clear out VWAP, like I said, they have a move. We have dips down into here today if we want to do a move all the way down to there. We're just going to have to see what they do with it. Divergence on the tape. VIX going nowhere either. So nothing to do so far. We are into the lower side of this grey box. I'm unconvinced to be a buyer here. I want to see if we come down into this and base. The problem is that will be the third attempt to break out of the high coming back to the mid. It's a dangerous buy down there. So we will just have to see, folks. So far failing. Up here, lower high. And we can rotate and take out some of these guys and maybe come all the way down into these nodes down here. And that's where I'll start to perk my interest if we come down there. Which looks like at the moment is what we're trying to do. Most of the mag's still green, holding on well. Where's the gap fill? It's way down here, the gap fill. 633s. For the 4 o'clock close. Where was the 6 o'clock? $7.41s. Okay, this block here looks good. That's an important block down there. All right, so just remaining patient here. See if it wants to trade lower into that block at the moment. See if I can get a buy link. Yeah, I mean, yeah, everything's working on the website. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I've just checked. Okay, I'm going to focus on the charts. I've already told you what I'm looking for. All right, I've told you numerous times where I'm looking to participate and what I'm looking for. So that's what I'm now waiting for. I'm not going to read the chat and say the same thing a million times. We go over this every day. You need to be here at 9:15 so we can go over it. All right, ES into VWAP. So these calls holding firm. And just depends, are we going to trade all the way down from box to box here or not on this H1? That's what I'm looking at. Are they going to wipe out all these overnight players or not? Microsoft now gone green to red. Some bids here at the 800s. If they lose 800s, we're going to slide down into that other box. Otherwise, they're just going to do a silly dance here for a while, I think. Not really too keen to buy up here. I think it probably needs to wash lower if I'm going to buy it. You know, these headlines, they have been pretty insane. You would have seen it, just like tiny headline moves this market massive right now. You can have something come out from the Wall Street Journal will move the market huge. We're starting to see pressure underneath these VWAPs. We're in this grey box. This is a chop zone. They can chop this for a long, long, long time before they make a decision here. Here we go. Wishy-washy in the grey box. Up to VWAP we go. And if we reclaim VWAP, they can have another go for those highs. I'm unconvinced today in this market. I think it's very dangerous to play unless we get to an extreme or we break out. Slow book here at the moment as well. Very slow book. Yes, in no man's land as well, between its two VWAPs. So another day of us opening up between the two VWAPs, just stuck. That's what we have right now. Are we going to turn a buy algo on today or not, is the question. Up to the New York VWAP, up to this imbalance. I don't like the M5 or the H1 right now. They both look atrocious. For me, for how I like to trade. They both look absolutely atrocious. Stuck between the two VWAPs. This is like every day for the last few weeks. We open up and do this. We just get stuck for a while until they've built liquidity for the next move. Sellers are coming in strong. Not really. They started coming in a few, like 30 seconds ago. And they're not really coming in strong. We're not seeing aggressive selling on the tape until about 30 seconds ago. Back to this low of day where they've already protected. ES not willing to break down. So you got divergence between the two. And VIX is just planted at 19 doing nothing. So it's identical open to like the last few days. Exactly the same thing. No, I ignore these unless we're in a trend. I do not follow flow zone signals unless we're in a trend and confirmed. We're not in a trending market right now. We're in a ranging market. Yes, finding a bid like we talked about through its VWAPs, and it's now trying to get back through its New York Open. So divergence continues to play here. If it gets through the New York Open, it can have a go at higher day New York break. But we've got relative weakness in the ES, so it's going to be very hard to follow that. They cannot make up their mind in this grey box. This chop zone, remember it's a high volume node, so we are likely to chop there. We chopped there Friday, we chopped there Monday, we chopped there yesterday, we're chopping there today. It is a chop zone. It's a high volume node. This is what we do. We rotate it until we leave it. Car still going nuts, yeah, still moving. So ES coming up for its New York Open. So right the way up here, ES is all the way up here already. Have a little look around. Tesla doesn't know what it wants to do. Nvidia almost filled its gap trying to find a bid. Microsoft filled its gap trying to find a bid. Meta almost filled its gap back to VWAP. Google trying to get back to VWAP, nowhere near a gap fill. Amazon almost filled its gap trying to get back to VWAP. Apple, no man's land. It's a really, if you just look at the mag, it would tell you the story today. It's a really nothing kind of open. Some big moves, but nothing's actually happening. Just wash down straight back up into midpoint. All right, ES failing, New York Open here. So the question is, are they going to let go of these levels and wash down into here? Or are they going to keep trying to trap here and take out the highs? Because we've not taken liquidity either side, we're not really in direction. So there's a poke up, instantly sold it back into. So aggressive buyer came in there, into 50, instantly found a passive seller up there. So there are passive sellers on the tape still at present. We're still in this grey box, folks. So if we leave this grey box and stay heavy, there's possible rotation down here. If we print over this grey box, then they're going to try and take out the highs. At the moment, not really interested in the market. Back to VWAP, still absorbing VPOC and VWAP. Some sellers trying to come in here through VWAP, and they're struggling. They're struggling to break down the 30s. I'm going to say this to you guys. Lots of you asking questions. You have the internet in front of you. Just go and ask the internet. Why would you trust my answer when you've got the internet in front of you for some important things? Right? Go and use a news site. Go and check it out. Okay, back to the 80s. They're trying to get this squeeze. ES still rejecting the New York Open, though. They want to lift, and they are struggling. This passive sellers just sat up here at every occasion. I don't trust anything yet. Buyers now would need to hold 40s or 44s on a return back in. But we're inside the opening range. We're just at the midpoint of the opening range. But if buyers can hold a dip that holds sort of 40s around here, maybe they can start taking some control. Otherwise, this can still be a bear flag for a breakdown. We haven't swept any liquidity, really. We've left everything both sides. Again, I'm just zooming out all the time. It doesn't look very good zoomed out right now, does it? Right, we haven't taken out these highs. We haven't taken out any of these lows, not even these lows here on an M5. It's ugly. We are in no man's land right now. The momentum would need to be for buyers to hold 40s. If they can't do that, it would be a failed attempt. Again, ES can't get through its New York Open. They're trying to hold these 40s. If they can hold 40s and break above 70s, they've got a chance for high of day. But ES is going the wrong way right now. So you have divergence up here. I can't remember a day where we haven't had divergence in the opening 30 to 40 minutes between the two. It's been really poor, really piss poor for a few weeks now. All right, ES trying to find a bid. Can he get through the New York Open? We're at value area high right now in the New York session, and we are stuck. VIX trying to find a bid as well, just to make it everything triply hard. Here they go. So they're trying to hold those 44s for that squeeze up. Like I said, a breakthrough 70s is what will open the move. Buyer caught this morning at 88. So there's a trade up to 88. If they can do that through 88, you probably get a new all-time high. But it all depends whether they can get through this sort of 70 level that we talked about. Lots of sellers stacked up here up to 900 from 70. All right, this is where they're all stacked. This is a big level here. Can they get through this? All the squeeze all the way up. So they've held 44s like we talked about. ES into that New York Open. ES will need to break through that New York Open. Every chance they get to have momentum here, they're sort of stalling out a little bit. There you go, stalled out again. Couldn't get through the 70s. They got to get through 70s here for that lift up to test that buy at 88s. Here they come. And if they get through this, they should try and hold over 70s for 88s. Failed 70s again. ES through the New York Open, new high of day there on ES. ES starting to make a new high of day. Let's see if it can base above. Remember, we've had relative weakness on ES, though. It's not near its all-time highs right now like the Qs are. So that dip there, this dip here into 47's held. They now need to do this move here. If they fail this move here, they come straight back down in. I'll be waiting for a breakout or a failed breakout of the high now. So I've not joined in the mid. But if you took that 44 dips, it looks good. You want to be selling some into this New York Open. So 81, 88s, and then you can hold for the breakout above that. You can see how important that New York Open is. They just rejected it pretty hard on the first attempt, that blue line. And you guys are saying some silly stuff in chat this morning. You think the relentless buy algo has been turned on? What? Why? Based on what? You're not even outside of the opening range, mate. You're not even above your New York Open. Lol. Like, what kind of thing is that to say? Some silly things. All right, so failing the 70s, back down into this node like I talked about. You can't get through the 70s in New York Open, you come back and back check this. This will keep chopping. Yeah, box to box, exactly. Red box to grey box here. It's a pretty harsh rejection up there. You're still just in range, though. You're just back to this same area that they were bidding off earlier. There's liquidity above and liquidity below right now. And this is the problem for me. Right, we're not in a directional market at the moment, I would say. Non-directional market. If we start breaking down here, we can think about the move right back into this. But you can see this morning we did absorb here a few times. We'll see if we get that opening range break and we start extending value area low, but you want to be very careful because we are in no man's land. Just like I always talk about, zoom out on the H1, just zoom out, have a look where we are. ES still between its two VWAPs, not letting go of anything. This is just like very wishy-washy price action. It's hard at the moment for big traders probably to start positioning themselves given the headline risk constantly, right? So they want some form of certainty. What certainty do they have right now? None. No certainty right now. Okay, we're going to extend the ceasefire. How long is that going to last? Answers on a postcard, because 2 days ago we were never going to extend the ceasefire. Now we've extended it indefinitely, and there's already been reports of Iran firing at ships. So you know, it's probably very hard for traders to position risk on or risk off right now. They don't know what they want to do. All right, ES back into between its two VWAPs again, like we've seen the last few days. If we start losing the bid here under 30, I will consider a wash down to try and get down into 736. If we start to lose these bids, we've got to be very careful into these low of days. There is some selling coming in here. Okay, watching this now. If they lose the bid, they're still protecting 20s. And they would need to stay heavy at 40s. Over 40s, obviously, we reprice that kill candle. And ES still finding a bid at 24-hour VWAP, stuck between 24-hour and New York VWAP. I'll be interested in this in a breakdown if it turns up. At the moment, not seeing anything. Seeing sellers come in, seeing passive players at 20s all the way down to 80s. Let's see if we can get involved here. If they want to be follow through, we're still inside the opening range, still have divergence between the indexes. watching for the short here. Here's value area low. Starting to see bids turn up at 80s, which is a good sign. So looking for pops to fail now to see if we can get this rotation. Here we go. There's a low of day. All right, let's see if we can get into previous day value area high. If it's not a fail, look below and fail. ES still not joining in quite yet. It's got more room to go. So I want to be careful here. Versus 40s, do not want it to print above 40s. Or cut it above 40s. If that's a little look below and sweep and we come above 40s, I'll have to take this off. Small position to start the day. Here we go, straight back upside in the chop. Trying to play continuation and chop, probably not the smartest thing to do, but there we go. So right into my stop here. If they lift this, they're going to go up to 80s. And they've printed up at 80s already. They're just sat right the way back up at 80s right now. And if we get back above 40s and hold, very hard to consider flipping long, but that's what I probably should do. So out of this now. Small L to start the day. Might come back for it. We'll see. Am I looking for a buy today? I'll look for a buy down here. Or I'll look for a buy on a breakout and a pullback. I don't want to buy in this. Trying to see if we had a failed break in continuation there, but they want to reprice higher at the moment. So leave it alone a little bit longer. Small L to start the day. VIX going absolutely nowhere as well. Everything's compacted as well. VPOC, flow zones, VWAP, value, everything very, very, very tight here. We will get a move away from this in a direction soon. Are you going to stop me out by a couple points again to do the move? Probably. Seems to be the name of the game recently. Yeah, the M5s look awful. I'm going to back off this. Let me move to a 5 minute on the spiders. It just looks terrible. No thanks. What is that? You can't trade that unless you're a range trader, which I'm not. So this might not be best condition for me today at the moment. Might need extra patience today. What is this? Get rid of that. H1 chart, yeah. Well, H1 chart, we're still holding value area high from the developing week. We're still in this node, but you can see we're just chopping this node. That's where this node's from. So right back into the highs here. Like I said, probably have to flip long over 40s, but I didn't. ES back into New York Open. Rejected New York Open first attempt. All the sellers are up at 900. I don't like either side of this at the moment. Extra patience today. It will become easier once we claim some liquidity from one side. Even if it's a failure, once we clean one side out, it will become easier. It's still going nowhere. So technically speaking, if this pullback holds 45s, then buyers can step in again, just like earlier. And if they fail 45s, then the wash will come. But it looks good at the moment. All depends on ES here at the New York Open. We're too close to supply right now. It's the biggest problem. We've almost got to get through supply and turn it into an RBS zone like we talked about earlier in the day. Trump extends ceasefire for 3 to 5 days. So it's not indefinite, is it? Why can these people not just give certainty to start with. Why say something and change your mind? I mean, he said it at 4 o'clock yesterday. It's what? 14 hours later, you've already changed it. It's from indefinite to 3 to 5 days. It's quite a big change from indefinite to 3 to 5 days. Okay, that was the move back to 40s. Buyers need to step in here and protect the 40s if they're going to see that lift up to the upside. If they fail to do that, sub 30 again, sellers will try and break down. So this is the battle here. No position for me. I've already taken one loss there trying to play continuation. Learnt my lesson already. Got my hands burnt. Into VWAP. Okay, 40 test here. If buyers can't hold this and we move under 30s, they will try and clean out the lows again. I'll give you a readout on the mag. Tesla 1.18% up, Nvidia 0.13% down, Microsoft 1.02% up, Meta 0.70% up, Google 1.5% up, Amazon just under 1%, Apple just under 1%. So here's the bid. They're trying to bid at 40s. You can see all these passive sellers are stacked from 55 to 90 right now. It's kind of gross. Like they're just range trading in here at the moment. ES good absorption there for that move. NQ not really following through upside yet. No direction in here. Flow zones are flat. VWAPs are both flat and stacked together now as well. End of the war is already priced in. Yeah, well, we priced it in last week, mate. That's why we priced it in all last week. We priced in the end of the war. The problem is what if it isn't, like I talked about? That's the big problem. Right, ES back above that New York Open. So ES right up here right now. Seeing strength. We're not seeing that follow through in the Qs yet. You look at the daily, it's straight up. Well, I would say, unfortunately, you're not right. You were right, but if you look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days, all right, that's not straight up. That's a build out of liquidity. So if it wants to move higher after that build out of liquidity, it can. All right. I would say until that point, yes, it was straight up, but that's certainly not the case anymore on the daily. All right, ES back above its New York Open, poking up towards high of day right now. We are at value area high. This is where the sellers last came in. This is that sort of 70 area that we talked about in the first time round, and still just in no man's land of this 15-minute opening range. Question is, can they find a bid? ES new high of day there. Does it sustain the bid here though or not is the question. It would need to pull back and hold the New York Open to show real strength. Here's the pullback on ES. Here's the New York Open on ES. Are they willing to hold a bid here? If they're not, they're going to struggle. If they're willing to hold a bid here, like they just did, they're going to look for the breakout. So NQ, the same thing. So it held that dip back in towards 40s. Again, where the buyers needed to hold. This is the New York Open now. This becomes important. Above this, we can go and test that seller at 88s. So I will consider the breakout and retest if it offers it now after failing to break down of the lows. That's what I'll be looking for. Can we squeeze out and then pull back in and hold above all this, basically, is what I'll be looking for. Now that ES is going for it. So here's the test of the 88s. Remember, we had a buyer stuck there this morning. So if you were long in this, you want to take a piece off here. And we'll see if we can break out now and hold the pullback. Here's the New York Open. So we're failing at the 88s. They need to hold these pullbacks and clear out the all-time highs at this point. Right, lots and lots of selling up here, this red block. But if they can hold the pullbacks, they've got a chance to clear out Here comes 900s. It's a good hold of the New York Open so far. You're good to keep buying this as long as you hold 70s, or to stay in your buys as long as you hold 70s. There is liquidity above. And we'll see if we can break out through the high now and then hold the next pullback above all these highs. Here we go. Really good. So bid that up here into previous day high. Just coming short of that previous day high. Hopefully we can take that liquidity at 900s. There is liquidity above. Do expect us to take it at this point. So I got long on that last pullback into New York Open. Really nice. I want to see us pop through this previous day high and squeeze. And then that's basically all-time highs. If we can break through this, we can start to take some profits. Needs to hold this entry level for me. Otherwise, we're going to wash right back down to 70s. So failing previous day high by a tick. By a tick? How much do we fail that by? By 2 points or something? Still holding this level. If it washes back down to 70 and finds a bid, I'm still going to stay in this. Looks good. I want to be careful here. Just trying to play momentum, just like I did at the downside. So I don't want to get caught, just like I did at the downside. ES taking out that pivot. Got to watch 7160 gamma on ES. Where can we get to on the Qs? 651. Yeah, 915. That level up there. So I'm looking for this move here. It's dangerous, but I'm looking for this or this move here. If we fail this, I will cut because it means we come back into the D shape. Don't want to rotate in here today. Needs to hold and complete this move, and we can take some profit up to here. And then if we do this, we can think about another long as well. But if we take this and fail and come back in here, that would be the look above and fail of range. Might come back down to 70 like we talked about. Here we go. So I'll watch here. If they hold this, I'll stay in it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to cut. That's good so far. Lots of cool walls up here is the problem. Lots of cool walls. Big buyer coming in here. I want to be very careful. Don't like seeing that 100 lot buyer just come in out of nowhere on that New York Open. And we'll see. He might become liquidity for a wash later. So I'm going to mark that out at 80s. Come on, break the 900s. Go and take previous day high and just give us a little squeeze out. ES failing as well. That's 7160. That gamma level. We hit a high of 5850. So came 6 ticks short of it. To be very, very aware of that. Here comes the Qs. They are trying. This is your opening range high. They are trying to come and take out that previous day high. All those stops will be at previous day high. That's where I'm trying to target if possible. Yeah, big divergence. Once we clear, we can think about that look above and fail. Just be aware of that. If they clear out the liquidity, it could be a look above and fail. Still failing up there at the opening range high. Still holding the New York Open, still above the 70s, so still willing to sit in this. But if we fail here, we fail here. It's what might happen, especially with what ES is doing. Still holding 70s. ES failing into that New York Open. If they don't bid ES here, I need to cut this for a loss again. Because we can wash right back down. There we go. So into VPOC. Now or never. If they don't hold this, I'm out. Out. No continuation for me today. Like I said, I hate playing ranges. I was trying to play a continuation there. It might be that it comes back for it. I'll have to wait. So 2 L's to start the day. Fun, fun, fun. Man, no continuation. Not even a sweep either side. Oh, you gotta love trading in range. Oh, so not even a look above and fail, just a fail. Fucking hell, mate. NQ leaving liquidity again. What's this? The 4th time up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th time up here on an hourly without sweeping. Jeez. Yeah, I said no trades in the red box on the attempt here, but it's different once we base. All right, I was just looking for this clear out. All right, I wasn't taking the first attempt, but this is a different play here once we hold, just looking for this. But they're just not willing to do it. Maybe you're right, and that's what got me caught. I was just trying to play what I was seeing on the tape, but, you know, we're right back to that 70 level. They might have just needed a deeper wash there again. I'm running out of bullets now. Do I just back away? Maybe. Look at this drive back up. You fucking assholes. Oh, they've taken me out just to go and do it. Obviously. Obviously. You gotta love trading. You have to love trading. Why are we stupid enough to do this for a job? I say it every day. Still not taking out previous day high. Why are they faffing at these 900s? There's not even a lot up here. They should just go and clear it out and come up to these 15s and maybe above. There's really not a lot up here. You're talking about a 55 lot. That's it. How are you struggling so much to get through that is beyond me. There you go. Fuck me. So, right idea. Had to stop me out first. All right, be careful now. If you stayed in that long, do you want to know what tilt looks like? This is it. It's what tilt looks like. If they hold sort of 98-ish, this can continue higher. You want to be very careful with a look above and fail now. The Alex trade, yeah, indeed. Well, I was trying to play for it to hold 70, which was this edge here. Obviously, it needed to come down to 50, so an extra 20 points I needed to give it. Wasn't willing to give it that. Really wanted it to hold this. Move's now gone, so liquidity now taken. It can be a failed breakout now. You want to be careful. If we fail the red box, do short. Well, you're going to need a lot of bulls trapped. We're not seeing that right now. There's still liquidity above. And I don't like the grinding move up. So the hardest thing about the look above and fail right now is how we've built this out. Right, what you would have wanted to see is more that without all this. So it's got a direct line down. Now we've built out structure to support the bid up. All right, so this morning from the 9:30 open into this move, so for the first 40 minutes, we've built out structure that can support the bid up now. If you think about all this structure in here, the look above and fail would have been better for a squeeze out in the morning and an instant fail without any of this. And then you get that downside move. So I'd be cautious of that. Oh, man. I'm backing off for a minute because I can feel tilt. It's so annoying when you play for the trade and they just run your stop before going for the trade. Like I said, it felt high probability to take at that level, but it is what it is. So I'm backed off because I've taken 2 L's for the day. This is me controlling myself because it's very annoying right now. When you're right, but you're wrong, that's trading, right? When you're right, but you're wrong. Probably had pocket jacks there and they bluffed me out. And I probably had a decent hand on the table and I got bluffed out. Right, so that's kind of how I read that. How much did I lose over those 2 trades? About $1,000. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. On an account where I'm up almost $12,000, right? So it's not a big deal, but it is still happening. See, this is what I mean. The structure that's been built out is very strong now for bullish moves, right? Just think, all we have to do is think about this structure. This is your D shape, right? In here, we've held this chop zone. We've swept. We've come back up. We've held this structure. Think about this W. We've held this structure. We're clearing out highs. Looking for the turn back down is much harder now than if we didn't have all this. on my last payout day, I hope you go green. Do you mean like, oh, yeah, but I've got as many days as I need to go green. It's not a big deal. I just thought maybe I could make some money today, and take payout tonight, but it really doesn't matter. It's all good. We go again tomorrow, right? It's just a trade. Right, ES still struggling to get to that 160s. But it looks good. You can see this gamma level matters. This is your highest call wall right now. All right, so this is where options traders will be taking profits. If they get above that, you're in sort of squeezy territory up into these. Remember, this is price discovery up here. This is all price discovery. In fact, everything above this red line is price discovery right now. All right, so there's no supply up here. These are just option levels. There's no supply. This is all price discovery up here. All right. We just made a new all-time high, so all-time high can move up. All right, that's your new all-time high. ES nowhere near all-time high, by the way. All right, ES and spiders nowhere near. All right, relative weakness in those. Right, we talked about. They can still put a lower high in. We have to be careful here when we trade around all-time highs. If we see lower highs start to be put on an ES and no follow through, and NQ does start to do a failed breakout. I'm not talking about in this session. I'm talking about more on a daily. And we see the macro environment change. Okay, all the liquidity we've built since last Friday will be used one way or another. Think about those sort of 3 peaks we have at the moment. If we extend this, come back in, fail, we come back to the bottom side of the range. Just the opposite of what we did on video recently at the 170s. Okay, but that will take days to set up, maybe weeks to set up, if it sets up at all, but we have to be aware of it with the divergence. Okay, while this sets up, so I can have a little mental break here after taking 2 L's to start the day, I'm going to go and just get a refill on the coffee, and I'll be right back. Oh my God, you mother clucker. Do you know what I was thinking as well, chat? I think I ignored my own pathing today. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me have a look. Fairly sure I ignored my pathing. Yes, I absolutely ignored my pathing today. What an absolute plonker. So it just shows I make mistakes. This is what I was looking for this morning. All right, longs under the grey box. Right, look at below and fail or into POC for this drive up. All right, and then only if we failed here. And like I said, I think we'll see something like this happen. All right, and that is what you now have. All right, so this is now turned into support. Like I said, I wouldn't be looking for the look above and fail now because of the structure we built out. And I've missed it. So you look good, folks. You look good. Just you're in price discovery, so you just need to hold on to your longs, really. You obviously take profits, but you just want to hold on to them. You don't want to fight the tape. Certainly no short opportunity up here right now. It's all right, folks. At least I'm honest with you. You know, I had 2 attempts at those longs, and I probably, when I go back and review this, I probably should have been bidding this 40s that I talked about here. I didn't like this imbalance left. That's awkward. So maybe I should have, instead of buying up here, maybe I should have had a nibble down here, a safer nibble, risking. Then I could have risked 35s instead of trying to buy high to go higher. But there we go. Look, you live and learn. It is what it is. I can't win every day. I'm honest with that. I try and win every day. What about manipulation to the upside to come back down? Well, you know, you're talking about something that could and may happen, but isn't currently happening. You're at all-time highs. There's no supply above. We're in price discovery. And until we come back down and we leave buyers trapped, there is absolutely no reason to short. All right? There's no reason to short. Okay, so we are where we are. Building up more nodes here. They can trap all the way down into 908s here. So you just want to stay bullish in this. You don't want to be buying the highs, but you know, anything down here which is absorbed, you go back again. Just be careful if they leave volume trap. But at the moment, hopefully you guys are either long from these 45s or the VWAP or this build out here. Right, this is breakout, pullback, hold. This is it. I wouldn't have taken that even if I sat at the desk because I was too tilty. That's why I left. Controlled my emotions, even though this would have got me green on the day. No doubt. But yes, there we go, folks. There we go. All right, ES now above that 160 level. That's the big level. All right, can it hold a pullback into 160? If it can, all right, I'm just going to redraw some of these out so I can see it. It's got liquidity sat at 67s to 72s on the ES, and then you're looking for that pivot into 80 to 83s, and then obviously highs above that, just above that. But this 160 level is big. This is where you had a cool wall. We traded through it. You would like to see them support the bid around here if you're going to get a continuation. We have left a big imbalance on this downside from this move up right now. All right, and you're starting to see this rotation in this node being developed, holding this low volume node here. I wouldn't be short on this personally, even if it came back in right now. You are in price discovery. You're guessing tops if you do that. Bro, I win every day. I mean, I wish I did, but clearly today I haven't. I've been on a hot streak. Today I've lost. Use fibs or psychological numbers for TPs. Yeah, you can. Like, I can give you the range out of the New York session if you want. Right, so you're into the 161. Above here, you're looking for 973s. You've got another gamma level here at 955s. And then, like I said, I think we'll try and get 27,000 today anyway. So 27,000, 27,080s are all priced in. Measured move. Yeah, I think you can get 27,000. That will probably be the target psychological number. Just buy low and sell high. Don't make life complicated. Yeah. So what's this? Is this buying low or is this buying high? Just asking for a friend. Is that buying low or is that buying high? I'm just asking for a friend. Which one is that? Love it when people say that. Based on what time frame? Based on what structure? What about all those people that did that? You know, just keep buying low, keep buying low, keep buying low, keep buying low. Like, no. Like, it's such a silly thing to say. Honestly. It's such a silly thing to say. Here comes the squeeze. I'm not even triggered. You guys think I'm triggered when I respond to something? It's like you think I'm not allowed to respond. Do I look triggered? If I'm laughing and calm, do I look triggered? No, I'm not triggered. right, 27,000 is clearly the target here. There's 131 lots sat up there. They're going to keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing to get up there. Like I said, ES has got that liquidity above to aim for as well. Here we go, 30 more points up to get up there. Big old squeeze out. Mag all green. Basically, all my watch list is green right now. Is there anything red on my watch list? No. Literally every single asset on my watch list I can show you is green. All right, watch this. All these high gamma names, everything is green right now. All right, market is in a ripper because we're in price discovery. You missed this whole move up. Well, join the club. I tried twice to get it and stopped out twice on it. And we would be up now 100 points. 100 points. All right, a little bit front running there. 55s, they'd want 55s and 15s to hold now. You can see we've developed a little node here. Very, very light node, but this is what we've developed. So buyers will be looking to protect these nodes and keep drifting higher. Are you planning on changing anything based on this? Because I've seen it happen a lot of times on your streams. No, I'm not. I'm not going to change anything. Like today, I was trying to play momentum for this move. All right, I wasn't willing to risk all the way down into this. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I probably, if I wasn't tilty, I would have just got back in on the same trade. Look, it's the same trade. It's the same level. They trapped and then held it. It's the same level. There was nothing wrong with what I did. It wasn't a bad trade. All right. I stopped out at a stop level. It's the right thing to do. Eat the stop. We come back in. We hold this level. Right. I wasn't mentally in a good enough position to be like, I'm going to get back in again for a third time so quick because I've just been stopped out. If this had developed now, a little bit different, but it hadn't. So I'm not going to change something because of eating a stop. Eating a stop is part of trading. It is absolutely part of trading. All right, 160, the level on ES, like we talked about, is coming back into it now. They would want to hold bids at this 160. It came just shy of that move to sort of 68 to 72 we talked about, that supply up there. Still seeing strong buying participation. The last big buyer was at 950s on the Qs, on the NQ. Strong delta, strong squeeze, continuation higher, still set right now. Good hold of 160 there at ES. Really good hold. So all the time you're holding 950s here on the Qs, it's going to want higher. Under 950s, there is that sort of little node that I've got marked out. And in that node and under that node, right down to 910s, there is a giant imbalance I can show you. All right, so big buyer came in here at 50s. Absorption took place in this node. Under this node, huge imbalances right the way back down. Buyers won't really want it into that imbalance. Why? Because shorts will be getting tops right now. So if buyers can hold above that imbalance and keep the big buyers in the money, they can keep squeezing. Shorts will keep guessing, they can keep squeezing it. By the way, VIX is just not moving. It's just stuck at 19s. What's the start target on the Qs? Well, we're in price discovery. So really, the next big node is 655s. All right. So the next, in terms, when I say node, in terms of gamma, cool, 655, 656s. But you're through, the big level was 51. You're through 51, you're through 52. There, I've got nothing in here right now until 655. Let me just load Tanuki up on a side monitor and just see if they've got anything developing for you. Give me a second, my friend. How can I change this asset on the website? Yeah, there's a little bit developing into 995 NQ and then 040s. I'll have a look at QQQ for you. Give me a second. QQQ, yeah, 51s you're through. There's a little bit developing at 53s. So they're all just whole numbers. 52s is the next big one. 53s is pretty small at the moment. A huge one is 55s. 55s and 56 are huge levels on QQQ for those of you trading ETFs. 53 is not that big. It's not that big right now, but we get very thick. 54, 55, 56, very, very thick. All right, hopefully that helps. Ambitious Tyson trade today. Well, what you mean for a continuation? Well, let's give it another 3 minutes and see, or 2 minutes now, see where it sets it up. Like I said, 27,000 whole number is where we're gunning for towards. You can see it on Bookmap above me. We've got passive sellers up there. 85s, 90, 95s, then there's 130 lot at 27,000. And then there's a small lot above that at 27,005. And then there's probably room because we're in price discovery. Where's the next lot? All right, then we're into the 60s, 75s, 85s. There's not too much before that. All right, so here they come in towards these 27,000s now. Any place for a re-entry? Not for me, not for how I would trade. We're pretty steep here, so we're going to need some sort kind of trap. All right, so if we hit 27,000, we would need some form of trap, which would need to be like a wash of all of these and then a recovery, right? Something for bears to get stuck. Right now, we're in squeeze higher. I can't join long here. It's way, way too risky for me. Remember, this is the most premium price of all time. You have a margin call alert. Well, you are definitely over leveraged. Are you short on stuff right now? You can't be short on everything. Annoying, isn't it? I mean, it's just part of trading, mate. It's just part of trading. It's not like I didn't think it could get up here. Could you buy it when you hit 27,000? You could. I wouldn't. You could do it. I wouldn't do it, but you could do it if you really wanted to. It's not what I would do. At least the swings are paying. Swings should be really paying right now. Here you go, 27,000. Now they've added liquidity at 27,035. So there's another 100 lot at 35. Oh yeah, swings are paying. Oh yeah, baby, they look good. All right, initial balance now set. So 27,000 here. There's more liquidity up at 27,035 right now. This thing is in a straight squeezer. Lemon squeezer. So there's the front run of 27K. Here's the pullback to 160 on the ES. They're still bullish in this right now. Just depends how high they want to take it at this point. A little bit of a battle here. They want to fill this guy at 27,000. They're trying to lift back up to him. Good absorption again in front of 160 on the ES. That's your level. We've talked about it all morning. That's your level. You're starting to hold above it. I don't know how much Bookmap is a month. I've had it for a long time. What you could do is go to bookmap.com and have a look. It's Super easy. Super easy. Come on, guys. What option is best? I don't know what you trade. If you're just trading futures, global plus, but these are all things that you have to figure out based on what it is you want to trade, right? What assets you need. Do you need data from them? Can you plug in your data to them? I don't know. I'm not you. What do? I buy Global Plus and I pay for CME data direct for them. That's what I do. Okay, you can see a little bit struggling up here at 170. Maybe we get the trap move down lower and see if they absorb it. So they're going to come and test these 950s. If they wash all this out, they can come right back down to value area high. It's a strong reaction here. I'm just going to check it's not news. I don't think it is. I think this is going to be sort of the trap move. We see how far down they come, whether they want to come and test 900 or they're just going to keep this buyer in the money at 50s. Come back for the highs. Trump posting all sorts of stuff again this morning. Can't leave it alone, can he? He cannot leave his Truth Social alone. All right, so 50 sorry, is where the buyer last came in. If they lose 50s, this node, we come right back down into this. Remember, squeeze up. I will see if they trap down lower or not. And then we'll just make our mind up. Remember, fail breakout will not happen until we trade back underneath the 900s, basically. So they can keep absorbing in front of 900s. Watching to see if they protect these 50s, which they're currently trying to do. There's a seller at 70s here, so not back to the highs yet. And there's lots of bids, much, much lower still. All the way down to 900s. Yeah, all the way down to 900s, still bids on the tape. Watching the tape here to see if buyers step back in and to see if there's a little trap. This might be it. Here we go. Are they willing to hold above 70s is the question. So I'm trying to see if we can get involved in this. It's late, but I'm seeing if this is the trap or not. If they can hold 70s and lift through to 7,000, 27,000 I'm talking about. Here's the test of 70s. A little low volume node right here into 68. That's what I'm watching at the moment. That's it. We're tapping into it now. Now, are they willing to hold this before I think about doing anything else? There's a little tap into it. They've got to hold this. It's hurt my interest to trade upside. It's a very dangerous trade on momentum. Not willing to hold it so far. No. So no trade here still. We're going to churn this low volume node by the looks of it. This is what buyers are trying to protect. This guy here. 50s is his level. There's still no entry for me. 50s is his level down here. Sellers so far being absorbed down here. Remember, if they lose this, we come and test value area high. If we lose this, we fill these imbalances down here. So I'm waiting to see if they set a bear trap at the moment and how low they might want to come. The backside of the move or the fail breakout only happens under this. All right, this can still be one of these for higher. Under this, yes, weakness. Oh, Bookmap, can we speed up? You short it back down to VWAP. You're trading. Some of you trading the IB. We'll see. I would just be careful of each node. I would be paying yourself on each node. Hopefully it works for you. ES has already done it. ES is already at VWAP. Look at that, the weakness in ES. Right, lots of imbalances here that they can fill right the way back down to 900. Be aware of that. Right the way back down to 900. VIX is finding a bid now as well, just to time this extra hard. This is that 50 level. You can see it's very sensitive where that buyer and this node here. Very sensitive. We might trade box to box while they figure this out. You will inverse my next trade. All right. Well, you'll get banned if you just want to be a bit of a bell end, because most of the time in chat we're hitting 100 to 200 point winners. Even today, they were winners. I didn't trade the wrong side of it. Some of you are arseholes, honestly. Absorption on VWAP. So ES did the move already. We've protected this grey box here. We're protecting low volume node. This is the level here. If they can hold this, they will look for more. Again, they're making it hard because they're not doing the move first time round. So that level now is 68 again. It's the same level as before. There's a little imbalance that they've left there again. They would need to protect that. It looks iffy on the book here, but they still haven't filled those 100 lots higher. So I still think they've got more juice in it. It's just very risky to buy now. But here we go. All right, so they held 68. So I'm trying. We'll see if we can get a squeezer up. So 327,000, we should re-trigger a new squeeze for price discovery. Great on ES. Here's the IB. Moving my stop up. Protecting profits here. Can we get any more? Want to take out 27,000 on any reload. Do not want them to let go of 68. They've got to break out through all this thick liquidity above. I think they will fill it. Very, very hard playing the momentum here. So this grey box important. And this node right in here, this little thin bit in here is what I'm watching, 68s. That's where there's a little imbalance. If we fail the IB, we can still come for VWAP. Here we go. I want to see the reaction here at 68. It's a massive reaction in front of it. Watching this tape. They're still absorbing in front of 68 at the moment. Sellers are starting to walk down. Got to be careful. Sellers are getting impatient. They have started to walk down. So all the time we're above 68s, the momentum's okay, but they need to break out of the highs here. If they can't, it'll be a fail break. Right, and IB. These sellers have moved down from 7,000 into where we are now. Here they go. Here they go. Can we fill these guys now? Come on. Get me paid. Nope. Front running it again. The longer they're here, the less I like it. Come on. Yes, not joining in yet. Remember, last time we were up here, it was a big reaction. So it's a big passive seller. Here we go. And they've added higher now at 35s. Again, they're adding more and more liquidity higher. So I'd like to see us just break out 7,000 and rip now. There we go. Big buyer coming in here, moving my stop up because of that. Don't like seeing that big buyer at 7,000. So we want IB to hold here. Otherwise, I'll just take it off. Because I do not like that big buyer at high day. That could be the end of the auction if they cannot print above him. Here we go. Any more juice above this guy? Are you done? Are you done up here, buyers? Do you have exhaustion up here? I'd love it to go to 35s because they're adding liquidity up there. Come on, just reach. There we go. Come on. Come in and lift. Come in and lift. Get up to 35. Too much buying up there at the top side without lifting. So I'm out now. But this was... this guy here might get stuck. All right, all these buying topside. This can be the end of the auction. If they can't sustain a bid on IB, this can be the end of the auction. We have added liquidity higher for them to search for, but I'm skeptical because it's price discovery. You want to be very, very careful here, but I made a little piece back there. And if we think about the IB now, if we get an IB expansion, if, big if, buts and maybes, can we get this on properly? There we go. If we get an IB expansion, then we will get into these nodes. All right, so these options levels will get filled. Divergence at the high with ES as well. I'd say this grey box is key. You can see we went box to box, reclaimed box, squeeze out. Buyers will want to protect this. They will not want to lose this node. If they start losing this node, you start seeing something like this develop and potentially this develop. I'm not going to play backside at the moment, but there is decent excess up there at the high. But I hate shorting all-time highs. Let's just say that. So back in, they're going to come test these 68s by the look of it, same level. All right, so in here, right, you've got this like little low volume node. This is what they're trying to protect. You can see like we used it as an under over here. So we came under it, tested it, failed, came back over it, tried to hold it, failed, came back over it, printed above it, came back, held it, printed. This 68 is important here. It's an imbalance. If we lose 68s, there's imbalances lower at that point, back towards value area low down here. So 68 is like a little momentum area that they're trying to hold at the moment. Let's come back to that 68. Again, I'm flat now because we didn't hold IB. I'm just waiting to see what happens now. ES is failing the highs, all right? So you've got massive divergence. All right, ES failed to break out of the highs, not made a new high of day, has not reclaimed IB, and is right back at VWAP right now. So be very, very, very careful. We're at these 68s. All right, you can see importance. If we lose this, we're going to come and test that bar at 50s. If we lose that, we have huge amount of balances lower. All right, if we lose 50s, all right, then we lose support. We come and fill all this in. And just remember that. So into this grey box rotation. All morning I've been spot on. I mean, yeah and no. I've been spot on with what price is doing, but it's definitely spoofed me out a couple times. Definitely spoofed me out a few times. But 27,000 was the main target, remember? All right, we created a bit of excess above that with that buyer now caught at the high. We do have levels above if they want to drift. But we have hit main targets for the day, the whole numbers. ES is just New York VWAP, initial balance. New York VWAP, initial balance. New York VWAP again. 4 times in the last 20 minutes. So if you look at the M5 on ES, I can take you over to it. You will see what I'm talking about. All right, if we look at an M5. All right, IB set. Failed to take the high, VWAP. Failed to take the high, VWAP. Failed to take the high, VWAP. All right, that's your range that it's creating on ES. You want to be careful here. Again, that 160, the big level on ES. Did I tell us you went to enter? Yeah, I think I said I'm looking for the 68s. Not on this time round because we've taken 27,000, but on the first time round, I was watching 50s and 68s for the reaction there. If I didn't call it, I'm sorry. I thought I did call it. But I made it pretty clear where the buyers need to protect 50s. I definitely showed you that, and I definitely said 68s. W shaping coming? I don't know, man. ES starting to get stuck at these 160s. If they can't reclaim, remember there's a buyer now caught at 27,000, and we've created excess up here. There is bid support, like you can see it on Bookmap. Yeah, you can see these bids. All right, they are moving up, trying to support price. at the moment. All right, but the difference is at the high or around these highs. Look, we have a 375 lot, and then we've added a little bit liquidity more, and we failed. So I'd say this area here, right, is becoming important. All right, we've got excess over this area. So you see how we're coming back in to tap this. If we fail this, it can be a lower high, and we can start to move down away from it short term. If they reclaim this box, then yeah, I think there's a good chance of creating new excess higher. All right, so we're kind of in balance. If we just zoom out, we're in balance. Look, we've struggled. I can't pull this out, can I? Can I pull that out? No. We've struggled to sort of get above this level numerous times. You can see here, right? It's key. Above here, buyers have got trapped, right? But sellers right now cannot break down under the 50s. Remember, big support came in here, all right? And under there, massive buying, all right? So the rotation right now is basically sort of 85s down to sort of these 45s and 50s. We can fail break underneath this, which see sellers keep trying the lows, can't break down. Buyers keep trying the highs, can't break down. So what do we get? We probably get a rotation between these levels. So we build out liquidity until they can make a decision, hey, we're ready to break out higher, or hey, we're exhausted, we're going to come and sweep. All right, and that's what's happening in here right now. They are building liquidity out in this level to make a decision. All right, and I think we still have a guy up at 35. There we go. So we still have these 100 lots up here. They're still trying to attract prices higher. Whether they can get up there or not is a different thing, but they are trying to attract prices higher. Passed my eval earlier. I only trade London morning session, but 100% passed using the stuff I've learned from watching this stream. Thanks, Alex. Oh, nice, Alfie. Congratulations. All right, ES back over that 160. Remember, it hasn't created a new high yet. It's just trapping between New York VWAP and initial balance high. The buyers currently are caught over or at 7,000. Like we talked about, we're poking up into these levels. That initial balance kind of level is key. If they keep failing up here, it's going to start to be problematic for the market. But we are going to build liquidity out in here, and the market will make its decision whether that's used for downside pressure or accumulation for a bigger move upside. At the moment, they're just building out that liquidity like we just showed in Bookmap. You can see this node is getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. All right, we're just chopping in this node for now. I'm going to close this. Very hard to see. The sun blasting through. Tyson trade work on SPY? Yeah, it's worked in the asset which has relative weakness. So you can always think about that. If you look at ES, up 0.85% today. Look at NQ, up 1.29% today. NQ, all-time highs. ES, not all-time highs. So if you're going to look for that reversion back down, which one's more likely to fail? Relative weakness, right? We've been long biased in NQ today because of how we've built liquidity. Would I be looking for shorts here? No, not right now. It might set up shortly. We're still developing, all right? We're developing liquidity. Think about this, all right? This is still bullish until we start to lose these levels. You lose these levels, yes. If some of you are playing the initial balance trade back down, I understand that. It's not a trade I would be looking for currently at all-time highs, but I understand that. But in terms of structure, we're still holding this node. We haven't left this node. Have we trapped buyers here? Yep. But have we moved aggressively away, set a lower high, lower low, and failed? No, not yet. Right, we're still in drift higher mode. We are still in drift higher mode right now. Again, here's a good check. Is this, if you're going to get short today, what are you shorting at? Look at all these. Look at all these stocks. Right, if I get Finviz out, I bet it's very, very, very green, especially tech sector. If we look at the breadth today, okay, here we go. Can I move this so that the team can see it? No, Finviz is always so wonky, man. Okay, up here. What sectors are red? right? Industrials, okay, RTY. Sorry, the Dow. We don't have that in NQ, and financials, which are in ES. So think about the 100 stocks which are in NQ: tech, consumers, communications. All right, big green. Look at the big movers today: Oracle, Palantir, MU, AMD, AVGO. Right, big movers. We don't want to be trying to guess the top, right? We need to let liquidity build, and then we can trade people's pain, and that's at least the trade that I would take when they're in pain, not beforehand. Back to the bottom side of this range, back to value area high on the day. ES still doing the dance. So it's the same level on Bookmap above that we talked about towards these 50s where they keep absorbing right now. There are imbalances down here all the way down into 54s right now. That big buyer came in this morning at 50. All right, he's still in the money right now. Do we have buyers caught above? Yes, we do. Are we still holding price action in a liquidity building area? Yes, we are. We have to see how we act here now. If we start to pop and fail, right, here's the test of 50. So we just tested him. He's still there. All right, he's still there, propping the market up. That was literally into 50. All right, so into that big buyer we had from this morning. So we would have paired off some of that delta now. Let's have a look. There's only 103 delta there now. So if pops start to fail here, we can think about potentially more of a backside move. But at the moment, I think this is liquidity being built out. You want to be very careful. Here's 50 again. So if this buyer becomes a seller, we will start to wash here. If he doesn't become a seller, he will prop this market up. So this is the important level. Is he going to become a seller? That's the question we're asking right now. And then if they start rejecting sort of 60s to 69s, there might be downside pressure. Ideally, they don't wash it in one go. ES again to New York VWAP again. All right, so relative weakness is in the ES. I'd be very careful here with this M5 because they're pulling down and they can still absorb anywhere down here on ES right now. So still this buyer's here around the 50s. So here they're coming back for 60 to 68 test. Remember, they would need to sell that for downside pressure. If they don't do that, then it's just sort of a move down here to absorb and come back in. ES again finding a bid off New York VWAP. And this can just be big build out until they're ready. And they might not be ready at all today. And we can wait for that new hour candle, which is coming in 5 minutes. Sketchy head and shoulders. Well, you haven't, it's only on a 1 minute and you haven't left liquidity yet. You haven't broken the neckline. So it might be something that isn't something, if you know what I mean. You might be looking for a head and shoulders, but really, all right, has this low been broken? No. So this low created this high. This is still internal liquidity. This can be a 2-leg and can still go. All right, until we break under here. And even then, the hard thing with the short today is you're going to have to respect the structure if it even plays. So you'll be playing, think about what you're playing today. The higher time frame has broken out. So if you're going to play the short, you're playing the pullback leg higher time frame, which might very well be absorbed anywhere in here to continue higher. This is the hardest trade you can take. All right, let me explain to you what's happened. Higher time frame, right? We've ripped higher, and on the daily we've done this, okay? And then today we've done this. So if you're going to play short today, you're playing the counter trend leg into this, which we expect to be absorbed to go higher. The easy short will be on a daily when we do this. Does that make sense? I'll make this real easy. We'll show you on the daily. Right? There's your consolidation on the daily. The easy short will be under all of this. All right. If you're short today, you're playing the counter trend back in, which can absolutely hold. So if you're playing short today, you want to lower your expectations unless you get a shift in the environment, which we're not seeing right now. it's why I always say to you, like, look at H1, look at the H1, look at the M5. H1 for me is God mode. Like, that H1 is a giant W build out. Right, they had the chance to break down yesterday. We were short on stream yesterday because yesterday was the short position. The fact that we held the lows and we came back to the upside, we just did a video on that last week, right? Look below and fail. It's effectively what we got yesterday. If you look at the low of week that we put in at 11 a.m. on an hourly candle on Monday, yesterday we broke that at 3 o'clock and traded back upside. All right, look below and fail. What do we expect? Other side of range. What do we then expect? Break out of range, pull back to top side of range, continuation, right? Break out of range, pull back to top side of range or up to there, continuation. That's what we expect. Don't get a big head. Yeah. I don't get a big head, mate, because the moment you get a big head, the market will humble you. That's just a fact. There's a reason I've been on a hot streak, and then today it's humbled me. That's how the market operates. All right, ES just stuck at this New York VWAP and on this sort of RBS zone from this morning. The opening range high on an M15 was sort of just there or thereabouts. It can come a bit lower, but it's there or thereabouts. Alex, on TPT, your loss reset on next day, or how do it work? What do you mean? On the eval, it's end of day drawdown on an eval. On the pro account, it's trading drawdown until you get past your buffer. Can I look at Tesla? Can I have a quick look at Tesla while this makes up its mind? Yeah, you're just pinned. No, you're pinned. Pinned for a reason, because you've got earnings. Right, here's your high volume node. There's your 400. I think earnings is at the bell tonight. So you're pinned in here. And what's the projected move? Probably plus minus 8% normally or more, which, let's call it up to 40 points. So either side, right? That's why you've got the extremes in right here. Like I said, 400, 420 has always been the level. You're just pinned in right now. Right. And you're going to get wonkier and wonkier as you get throughout the day as we come to earnings. I'm sure earnings is today. I'm just going to triple check that. Yeah, tonight at the close. So tonight, Tesla, IBM, those are the big ones tonight. All right, so still protecting here, still protecting in these 50s. That buy is still present on the tape. You've seen absorption there the last 5 minutes or so. There was a seller down there at 50s. He was unable to break underneath it, same level. 160s, the same level on ES, still stuck between VWAP and 160. This thing looks like it's desperately trying to build lots of liquidity out and trap both sides. So you just got to let it play out for a moment. My funded futures builder option, what's my thoughts? Yeah, I think they're good. I think they look really good. Dayouts every 2 days. Payouts every 2 days. Did I say dayouts? Payouts every 2 days. Yeah, they're good. So under these 50s now, this is the big level. This is your over-under into this next node. If they lose this, maybe a wash down into here, but this can trap. This node here, anywhere in here can trap. ES is going to make it extra, extra hard, as is VIX. What's the VWAP indicator I'm using? It's custom indicator. You won't be able to get it unless you're in my Discord. Unless someone else makes it. It's created by one of the guys in Discord for members. There are lots of free stuff in the Discord. Lots of like free indicators that are for members only in Discord. Some really powerful stuff. Have I TradeC? No, I don't trade with TradeC. I mean, if you like it, I'm sure it's fine for trading like TradingView, but I trade on Ninja. So starting to reject these sort of 50s, there or thereabouts, up to V-pocket 60s. There's a little imbalance here. They're trying to move this down to fill some of the liquidity below, but ES is just doing this dance. Like I said, very dangerous level here. If you look at the ES into the opening range high around this New York VWAP where it keeps absorbing these lows, we're not seeing follow through yet. I'd be very skeptical about taking the short here at the moment. It can easily trap. It's not a day which looks like a high probability short day to me. It looks like probably more of a trap day until we see sentiment majorly shift. How do you get into the Discord? You just have to do the 20-hour course, beginner to advanced course on my website. It's just for members. There's no monthly fee or anything like that. What's VIX doing here? VIX coming to the top of its channel as well. Top of the channel on VIX is like 1936, 1937. Gap fillers above that to 1950. 20s would be the level above that if VIX starts breaking out. But at the moment, we've been in a range since yesterday, just stuck. How many members are in the group? I think it's like 300 and something. Okay, let me just focus in here, guys. It's just, as always, I give stuff away, trying to help you guys, and you want more and more and more and more and more. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can we see this? Can we see that? I give you a lot. Okay, they just ran the stops here. ES coming back down to this level that we just talked about, that opening range high. We're into the start of the imbalances here on NQ. I wonder if this is like the start of the little look below and then the build back up. So I'm just watching to see what they do at these sort of 50s and under, whether they're going to wash this all the way down and fill all the imbalances, or whether they're going to use this as the trap and come straight back up, which is what I'm wondering if they're going to do. It all depends. ES, the way they've positioned ES is going to make timing this really hard, especially with VIX trying to break out. Especially with VIX trying to break out right now. But I'm going to just sit and watch if they're going to trap bears. So this level here, 62 to 69. What are they on here? 57 to 68. There or thereabouts. Are they going to bid here, or do they need to trap further? They've already run the stops, but there are imbalances right the way down to 602 if they want to do a wash and fill. ES is starting to come right into that zone. If they don't bid ES soon, it will go risk off because ES is already down here. All right, that's why I'm watching both indexes. It's underneath. It's between these two VWAPs ES, and it's underneath the New York Open. So it's like here at the moment on ES. They're very, very different charts at the moment. And VIX is right to the top side of this range. So it really depends here if VIX is going to fail the top side of the range or if it's going to go for gap fill and squeeze. If it does do that, ES will go risk off. You might see some profit taking. If you squeeze it without coming down enough for me, it's going to be really hard to join in for this move. This is exactly what I was looking for. It's a fast move off ES, right? Are we going to hold prints at 70s and 68s again to get involved? Exactly what I just talked about. Yes, right into that orb. That's what it was. Right into that pivot. So we need a push and a pull to hold here to get involved. Otherwise, there's no trade entry. You fuckers, man. So quick when they go. Oh, you can read it and it won't come in. So what I was watching here was ES coming into this key level right here. All right, this is where we broke out from. We've come back into it, found a bid very, very quickly, and VIX failing the top side of the range. You would have heard me just talk about that a few times. All right, just failed top side of the range, coming back in. And so we've caught a bid on this market, and I was just looking to join the bid, but it's just literally gone one way since I've called it. So grey box reclaimed. We haven't come back and held. There's no structure for me to play yet. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted, and it's too late now. I don't want to join the top side. Talk about making life hard. Yes, back to that 160 we talked about. So bids will want to support here at 70s or 68s again, somewhere around that. You'd want pullbacks to hold that at the absolute worst case scenario, 58s for bulls. Because you don't want to buy the top side of the range. You'd need pullbacks to start to hold, to develop. But really, I wanted to be buying down here if it gave the opportunity to, but it didn't. Here's the move back towards 65 to 68, filling some of these imbalances. ES rejecting that 160 there, make this really tough. I think it's bullish, but we are in this grey box and we know it can churn this grey box a lot. Do I want to enter here? It's a good reaction off the 68s. And point of control there, 65s. Waiting to see if these bids start walking up who are at 40s and 45s. Not interested yet for me. They're still just hanging out lower. So there's VPOC again on the session. Man, I don't want to trade a high volume node. I'm going to do my best to leave this alone. I think there's a high probability I'll get caught here. Bias is technically upside based on what we've just done, but although I want to be long, I want to be careful. M5 looks very tricky up here. I think it's going to go. It's hardest part of trading is sitting and waiting. Like I said, I think it wants to trade higher. We're holding VPOC. We've done that little look below. ES is going to make it hard, but I'm not in it right now. I just don't want to bid this high up. This is what I wanted to see down here. like a sweep into this grey box trap. I just wanted it to just do this so I could get at least a cheaper entry in case it does get stuck here and then fails. So it's just trying to limit my risk rather than buying right in this node, which is not ideal. I guess there is an argument to do this, but that would be the worst price of the day if we're going to buy that. ES still at this 160 like we talked about. Do I think we're going to come down to 925? At the moment, it doesn't look like it wants to come down there. I mean, it could come back to this. This would be like the breakout retest area. But at the moment, it's not showing an ability to do that. This would be the breakout retest area. Oh my God. Let's put this up higher so I can stop grabbing that. This would be the H1 breakout retest and daily. We're starting to build out a big range here. So I'm trying to be careful. If I'm going to bid this range, I'd need to bid the bottom side of it, right? And 150 was the level like we took. No, 150, 950 was the level that we talked about. So I'm just doing my best to ignore this. I don't want to get chopped up like I did today here when it set this up. So we can either wait for it to come back down and in and try and bid there, or we can maybe wait for that, but I'm less inclined to take that move. Peak below and fail would be nice. I mean, that's kind of what it's already done, right? That's what it's done here. So that 50 level that we talked about, which has been paired off now, right? So they tried to aggressively sell. Remember earlier there was an aggressive buyer at 950. They've paired him off with an aggressive seller. So there's no, I don't think there's any outlying delta there now. Let me just have a quick look. 950s. No, there's not. 63 buy side now. It's nothing. So they've paired it off well. I think there's the bias is for it to just keep trying to push and push and push. But you need ES back over 160. Yeah, for you range traders, maybe there's a good availability. My miss today was down here. All right, I should have been longing here. I mean, I did, but got stopped out. But I should have had more conviction because it's what we were looking for pre-market. All right, grey box, longing in there. That's where I should have been long. Slow. You're either in it or you're not, and you wait. How are we doing on the likes, folks? Way off on the likes, guys. At least over 1,000 of you have not smashed that like button. I'm going to do a My Funded Futures giveaway today, but we need to get to 1,000 likes, 1,200 likes, and we will give away a free course, a beginner course. Looks like drift higher again. They're trying to get this move we just talked about. I just don't like the entry point here. The RR is not great here, but they are trying to get this drift higher at the moment. How many trades do I take a day? 3 to 5 normally. So I think we've had 3 attempts. We've had 3 goes at it already. Yes, failing up here as well. Right, I'm just going to use a bathroom while you guys get the likes up, and then hopefully when we come back we can sort something out. right, still chopping around. Chop City. Chop City. Oh, 160 more likes, folks. Let me just sort out a My Funded Futures account after that. Is it time to start shorting car yet? Let me have a look. Still not first red day. Still supporting. Still not first red day. Yesterday it had a chance first red day reclaimed. That looks pretty good up there so far. We'll see. What I'm going to wait to see on car, for me personally, is something like this. All right, and then I'll start when everyone's traded this move and this move, and when the lockout's finished, I'll start getting this when everyone's forgotten about it. That's my plan anyway. Like I said, my old man started yesterday on options, expiry mid-May. I want this move. Like, I'll show you. I traded this in 2021. You can see all the old lines. All right, so I was short these moves here. All right, once everyone had forgotten about it in 2021. Where's 2021? We've got to go a long way back. 2021. All right, and you can see these are my old levels. They're still there. So I was short after, I think I shorted this because I remember taking some shorts up here. But then these moves here, once everyone had forgotten about it, were really nice. So we'll see. Just got to let it develop. Shiny object syndrome at the moment. Everyone's looking at it. Even people who have never been short before, who've never been traded short side, are looking at it. So it's got shiny object syndrome. Once everyone forgets about it, like I said, it's a crowded trade at the moment. When they stop looking at it, it'll become a good trade, I think. We got some of my old trades here somewhere. I would have posted them. Tesla. Yeah, this is one of my old car trades. Like once everyone had forgotten about it, and it was SSR. So after it had a big gap down. So where was I short? 290s, covering some into 80s, adding on breakdowns under key level of 80s, covering more into low day of 70s. So 90s to 70s, a 20-point move that day, and I used it a lot. I used to trade it quite a lot. It's always recovered well. It's one of those kind of stocks that attracts names when it's up big. No, I don't use Edgepool. What is car? It's a car hire company called Avis. It's just a stock, which is in a gigantic squeeze at the moment. All right, here you go. So they're starting to do that move we talked about. All right, so that little look below, reclaim here. Like I said, it's probably a good long here, but the RR just isn't here. So you'd be TP1 here, and then you'd be looking for continuation. Remember, there's a buyer caught at 27,000 right now. All right, there's a big buyer caught at 27,000. So you need to get back above him. There's basically 200 lot delta buy side up there. So you need to get back above 27,000. So if you took this long on the recovery, which I couldn't get involved in when I was trying to get involved down here, right? Or you took any of these dips in here, all right, for this move, you want to be selling some into 27,000 and then runners. Remember, price discovery above 06s. I mean, it looks good to me. It looks good to me, but as long as you just pay yourself some because you're still in the range. See, we've built out a big range here. Hopefully it holds the top of this grey box and just continues to squeeze for you. But just be smart as you come into these levels, please. Just be smart when you come into these levels. And 27,000 is where the buyer's caught at the moment. This is the lift up into him. And ideally, if you are long, you'd want them to support sort of 87s, somewhere around there. Otherwise, you get a wash back down to 75s. But ideally, they support like sort of the top nodes of these now, 85, somewhere around there for the rip higher. If you start losing that, you will trade back to VPOC. All right, so remember, 27,000 is the big level. ES is trying to get going. It's nowhere near it yet, just so that you've got a heads up. This is what you're looking for. Can they extend for a new high of day? So back to IB, back to these sort of 85-ish. You want it to hold sort of 85-ish here for those of you who are already long. I'm going to check this guy at 27s, and hopefully they just shove it through all of this for you, and you can get a payday. But just make sure you're paying yourself on the way. Here you go. Here's the check of 27s. Hopefully they shove it through this for you guys. There you go. So it should be a new high of day above this. And then again, you're in price discovery. You just want to move your stop up. So you should have paid yourself a little bit into 27s because we know that's big outlying delta. And hopefully you get going now. And we can get a new leg up for the remainder of this session, hopefully, because they've done a good job of building out liquidity. Hopefully this has helped you a little bit today. Even though I'm not in it, I was looking to get in it down here, but there we go. All right, there's your new high of day. So price discovery mode now. And ideally, you just hold above 27,000 because that's where that big buyer was earlier. You would like him to stay in the money and then just lift. Remember, we've got 100 lot up at 35-ish. So you would like 27,000 to hold. You definitely want IB to hold. But ideally, they hold 95s in this little retest here for you. And continue going, but that can be a look above and fail if they cannot hold the print above IB, but hopefully they hold the print for you guys. All right, so remember, we were looking for longs down here in this trap. I said, I think they'll trap down here. They did a good job of it. It didn't give me the entry I wanted. This is part and parcel of it. You could argue that I should have taken this. All right, it's dipped back into these imbalances, but the imbalances technically were actually a bit lower. But that was it. You can see this formation. All right, and if they hold this, they have the ability to just drift higher and higher and higher. If ES can join in, it will help. But you should be partialing out. You're in, nice. Yeah. Did any of you get some W's in these today? Even when I'm not in it. Hopefully, me teaching it. This is why I'm on stream. When you guys are like, well, I want to know when you enter. Well, guys, I won't always execute perfectly, but hopefully I can teach you so you can, teach a guy to fish, right? Yeah, lots of you getting it. But think about what we did at the weekend, the video at the weekend, the look below and fail. Right here, stop run. We know, remember, 950 was the big level. They came under it. Sellers came flying in. We absorbed. We got over. We went. And if we have a look up here, it's probably a pretty clear indication of it, I would imagine. Where is the 950 level? There you go. All this selling underneath 50s. All right, all this selling. Look at the delta. And then we shift to buy side delta. And once they break out, remember I was just looking to try and join in here and it just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And since then, new high and now trading back inside. All right, so structure is here. They need to hold this structure. Otherwise, look above and fail. And you have ES with relative weakness. Alex, is the Apex deal going to be back again? No, they've just gone to 50% deal. So it's 50% now. I tried to warn you guys, the deals the last few months will not last forever. Then it's because they've like shifted into that new what do you want to call it? Apex 3.0 or is it 4.0 now? So those 90% deals are gone. It's 50% off now with code FZT. It's 40% off on Lucid right now. Code FZT. It's 40% off on Take Profit right now. No activation fee code Flowzone. It's, I believe, 40% off on Tradeify still. And I think if you buy 5 accounts, you can get a bundle now to save you buying 1 account at a time. If you buy 5 accounts in one, I think of 25k or 50k, you get an extra 5% off. So you get 45% off. Code FZT with Tradeify. Big Bully button 2. Who buys an Apex account for 150 plus activation fee? I said the same to Bella this morning. I said to her, I don't think you'll see many people buying that. And the competition offers better product right now at better value. But there we go. How do I see the lots placed on Bookmap? What do you mean? The passive? Well, on the current order book, on the right-hand side, these are guys who are on the book, limit sellers. Aggressive sellers or limit sellers above, limit buyers below. Aggressive players, people marketing, are these big bubbles. That's how I see them. So still holding VPOC. Is there a program I can use to copy trade 3 accounts with bracket orders? Yeah, most places will do that for you. I mean, Ninja Trader, you just use a trade copier. You can copy trade 100 accounts with bracket orders if you want. Can the price from Lucid Flex go lower than $84? Someone knows. I don't think so. I think that's $84, no activation fee for a payout every 5 days is about as good as you get, mate. On Tradeify, I don't know. I don't trade on Tradeify. You'd need a trade copier. I don't think Tradeify has bracket order issues, right? From what you guys have said. So I don't know. I don't trade with Tradeify. I trade on Ninja. Here goes a squeeze up. Here they go. Is this news or is this just more nonsense? That's a stop hunt both sides there. Just trying to see if there's anything coming out. I'm not seeing anything. So I think just a stop hunt both sides. Tradeify has a built-in copier. Yeah, I think it has a built-in copier, yes, but what I've heard people say before, whether they've changed it, is when you copy, you can't use brackets on the copied accounts. So more buying got caught up there. All you've done is add delta above you right now, but we're still bullish overall. There's no breakdown here. Like I always talk about, don't guess the tops in a market which is in price discovery. Can still move higher. It's the 7,000 check again here. ES is trying to do the same move we're doing now. It's trying to play catch up. Iran armed forces are fully alert and ready for decisive response. I mean, flip flop. It's just insane from both sides at the moment. We won't do a longer ceasefire. If they don't do what I want, we will destroy them. We have an indefinite ceasefire while they put an offer together. We have a 3 to 5 day only ceasefire. And then Iranians. We're coming to the table. We're not coming to the table. We're going to shoot your ships. We shot your ships. We're not going to shoot your ships. Does anyone else feel like that? Oh my God. Like, can we just have some regularity back, please? Can we just have the end of the flip-flop? Let's just make a decision. Let's stick to the decision. Let's make it so we can price that decision in. It would be fun. I'm up for volatility, but the flip-flop I'm not up for. I'm not up for some random person on Twitter posting a news article and the market jumping off it. How do I receive the news? You mean what do I use? Financial juice. I cannot imagine being a hedge fund right now. Like, how do you price anything in right now? It must be scary moving billions of dollars into the market, unless you're in that White House Discord room where they're telling you what's happening. Okay, failing IB. Yes, failing to make a new high here, but can still put in a higher low. Still the grind, still the chop, still the grind, still this grey box, still above it. No, in my mind, no reason to short right now. They bought car. I don't think so. I think insiders are locked in on car right now, and I think you've probably got a couple of hedge funds locked in. I don't know if there is any offerings. I haven't checked. I will have to have a deep dive in if there's any warrants or offerings that they can do on car, because you would expect they will need to do it soon if they've got it, because they would be able to raise so much cash if they did that. Have I heard of ATAS? ASTS, yes. A guy in chat asked me about it yesterday. We did some levels on it. It's still chopping this grey box. Still, they want new highs by the looks of it. Still, buyers at 27,000 above are caught still. VIX still just holding at high of day right now. It's very, very risky. Like, ES is holding near high of day. VIX is holding near high of day. Qs are holding near high of day. Something's going to give. They can't all do this. More stops popped there again. Another 100 plus lots popped there into the 27,000. So shorts have got their stops up there at 27,000 right now. We just popped a load. Blew another account yesterday. Oh dear. Oversize him. Alex, can you please comment as to why Tradeify has no bracket availability on multi-orders? It's not right, especially if they have the capability to do it. What do you want me to comment on it? I'm not a coder. I don't work for them. What do you want me to do? Why don't you email them and complain about it? If enough of you do that, they might do something about it. I don't work for them. That's like ask, can I please comment on, I don't know, why F1's a shit show right now? And like, what difference does it make? Alex, how do you accept losses? Is it a trained muscle? Yeah, it's just like, it is what it is. It's part of trading. It is part of trading, man. It's just part of trading. I don't have a lot. I've made my comments on the Iran war yesterday. This will go on as longer and longer and longer. Like I said, I think America's put itself in a very stupid, tough position. It's going to do major damage to itself. At the moment, it's about how can they save face. When I say they, how can he save face? And I'm not sure he can. I'm not sure he can save face. I'm not sure how withdrawing for it will save face. I don't think any deal is going to be what they want. This whole narrative, or it's going to be a better deal than before, and all this. You're not getting what you want. They're not going to give over their uranium. They're not. I don't think it was thought about well enough. And some of the stuff I read yesterday was scary. Whether it's true or not is another thing. But apparently, them trying to fire someone because Trump asked for the nuclear code yesterday and got told to jog on. So they tried to remove him. There's all sorts going on. Like, I don't know the truth. I don't work at White House. I can't tell you. But what I do know is Iran can stay in this and not care longer than America. That's not to say Iran can beat America in terms of defense and stuff, but they can stay in this longer and it have less of an impact on them. So how we price that in, I don't know. Probably risk off, but we're into earnings season at the moment. That we're having to look at so many things at once, right? Inflation data, earnings season, war data, oil price. Lots of moving parts at once. Still high lows. They're still trying to break out over these 27,000s. They're still trying to bid and break out of this. ES still not joining the party. Still divergence. Like I said, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm saying they're swirling stories. Like every story has an effect on the market, mate. You believe Trump has a plan? Really? You believe he has a plan? It's gone real well. You believe he has a plan? You listened to his interview yesterday? Wasn't very good. Like, I could have won Vietnam War. Doesn't bode well. Don't think his own voters like that particularly well. So, you know, it's just the whole thing is a mess. The whole thing's a mess. And until we sort out the mess, this is the market that we're going to get. The market is just slow drift based on what's going on with stocks, but volatile. One headline changes everything. That's where we're at. That's all I care about right now because that's what I have to trade right now. Anything else doesn't matter. That's what we have to deal with. That's how we have to manage risk right now. We have to know that one headline can change everything. You might put your stop right now at 27,010 and they come out saying deal is done. You ain't getting filled until 100 points higher on that stop. I'm telling you, that thing's ripping so fast that you're not getting filled. You're getting absolutely wrecked on the stop. So that's the danger right now of trading. We saw it yesterday, right? Think about this towards the close when he came out and said ceasefire. There's yesterday. All right, we're trading near the lows. And this was the ceasefire candle in 1 minute. There you go. So we traded from 600 to 764. 164 point stop or candle in 1 minute. And that wasn't just 1 minute. It was more like 1 second. Right? That is your risk right now in this market. And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you fit on as a trader. It doesn't matter what you think about politics. That's the risk. It is headline risk right now. More than ever. Thank you, Alex. Essex to Miami here. First payout ×2 would tip you more, but I'm getting the course. Love the teaching, mate. Hey, thank you. That's a big move, mate. Essex to Miami. How long have you been there? It's a big move. Still the drift. Still they're trying to get over these 27,000. Still ES nowhere near this high. Massive divergence. Still VIX is looking for its gap fill above. So VIX new high of day. It's trying to fill its gap into 1950s at the moment. It's where VIX is trying to get to, which is why ES is feeling pressure. Divergence continues. 10 years. Oh, nice. Do you ever go back? I would imagine not. Which part of Essex were you from? Right, they're still trying to squeeze. They've still got this 100 lot up at 35s. They're trying to get up to. Remember, there'll be lots of short stops up here now because we've been up here many times today. Right, so I'd imagine anyone who's been shorting this, they will have their stop up here, and the next run of it probably gets that squeeze out towards 35s if they can do it, especially if ES can just find any kind of bid. So if you're still long from down here, you still look good. It's still holding. They're still trying to complete this move, but you better be taking partials on the squeezes up. Lots of liquidity here into 10s, 15s, 20s, 25s, 35s the level. That's where they're trying to get to at the moment. 35's the level. They're stuck at 05s again. Remember that 27,000. They're building so much delta there. You can see it. 290 lot caught buy side at 27,000. They need to print above him and hold above him for a squeeze. The bottom side of this range is 80s. Where sellers keep getting stuck is into 80s. So you're in like a 20-point rotation here at the moment. POC is down at 75s. So here's the move to 80s. This is where sellers keep getting stuck. There has been someone bidding here. ES looks like it's ready to break down a bit more at the moment. So big divergence between the two. Can you elaborate exactly on how price can move that quickly in 1 minute? Banks, hedge funds pulling limit orders so price has no resistance. Well, that move happened after hours, so you're thinner on liquidity anyway. And then if you get a news algo, which is like market buys lots and chases price, it's going to run all the stops out. Anyone who's got their stop in is going to get blasted out. And if you're a seller, if you're short side and your stop gets blasted, then you become a market buyer, don't you? So you just see an exacerbated move back up again. All right, back into VWAP here for the ES. So back into its same low. It's right the way down here again. You've got huge divergence playing out. I am surprised they haven't run these highs, if I'm honest. But you're starting to lose the bid here a little bit as we come back into this area here that we originally broke from. Starting to look very messy. How long till lunch? 15 minutes to lunch. Maybe that's why a bit of profit taking into lunch. We will see. Think we can buy Nvidia for 100? I mean, not anytime soon. You're asking for a 50% pullback on it. I don't think it's already trading at quite a low PE ratio. I don't think it's got a reason to come back there right now. That might change, but right now. So ES back to its New York Open. ES is right down here. Actually, divergence at the moment between the two. Weakness. Back to its VWAP, back to New York Open. Again, remember, it's not at all-time highs. They're way up here. It's nowhere near it. Big, big divergence. Big choppy day right now. I see some of you leave comments like, war's more important than the markets. Yes, like, obviously, but we are here to trade. So it doesn't... What I try and explain to you guys all the time, when you ask for my opinion doesn't mean shit. Your opinion doesn't mean anything. No one's opinion means anything when you're trading the markets. If you get... I'll give you an example. Last year, when everyone was like, burn all the Teslas, go and smash all the Teslas, we hate Elon. Or it was the perfect buy opportunity on Tesla. Oh, we're sending this stock down to zero. No, you're not. You're emotional. You're not sending that stock down to zero. You got emotional and you got wrecked by trying to do it. That's what the market will do to people when they get over emotional. It doesn't matter what you think. It only matters what price and volume is doing. That's what you have to remember with the market. It doesn't care about your feelings. Markets don't care about our feelings. They care about pricing in moves. All right, still holding grey box. The churn of the grey box still taking place. ES just found a bid on that New York Open 24-hour VWAP straight up to its New York VWAP. Still, we are just churning around here. Your feelings matter. Yeah, man, I wish my feelings matter. Maybe it could, give me back the money that I lost this morning on those first two trades, but it won't because they don't matter. Right, VIX now through its PDC is starting to base above these 1950s. If VIX finds a bid here and continues to squeeze, it's got that move up to 20s again, just like yesterday. All right, so it's a big level here. VIX will need to make a decision. Does it fail after gap fill or not? You feel like it's true to a certain extent? No, it's true to 100% of the extent. The market doesn't care about your feelings. That is 100% fact. That is a true. If you think anything else other than that, I don't know how to help you. The market doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about me. It doesn't care about anyone, right? Its job is to take everyone's money. That's the market's job. Right? Create liquidity, steal liquidity. Create liquidity, steal liquidity. It's all the market tries to do, all it has to do. That's the biggest rule. That's its only job. Pass an eval today. Nice work, mate. All right, grey box still holding. ES still finding a bid. Still has relative weakness. Are they going to come for it again? Up to these 27,000s again, failing up here again. Like I said, I'm surprised we haven't popped all the stops up here. I really am surprised. There's so many stops up here. I think the next time we run them, you get a nice little run through. They're actually adding liquidity higher now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come up to the 35s like we talked about, right? And then we have to see if it can get going. But these are all the stops up here. Once you run that, if you're still long in this from down here, or if maybe you added that dip, brave. But if you did, right, any break above this high of day, you'll get a stop run. You need to be taking a partial into that move. VIX turning back down now. So it filled its gap and it's coming back in. This just looks very messy, but I would imagine these get taken. I would imagine these get taken. I would imagine we see something like that. Run the stops. And then we have to see what happens up here. Again, no reason to short. We haven't broken down under any key level. The best short will come underneath all of this, and we're nowhere near that. Look, we're stacked above all the VWAPs. We have relative strength in NQ. If you're trying to short NQ as well, you're trying to short the stronger asset. It's probably the hardest thing you can do. Am I using VP from yesterday, today, or a few days ago? Well, this is today, right? These levels, I'm going to move this up. These levels would be yesterday, previous day. And as for a few days ago, they would be these blue lines on your screen here, which are the current week levels. And we also have previous week levels. We respect all higher time frame levels. Right, ES failing still. Chopping between its two VWAPs, still divergence, still no stops getting popped, still only 10 minutes till lunch. Still building out huge amount of liquidity in here. It's getting thicker and thicker and thicker up here. Big institutions mention retail traders don't even make up 5%. Do you think they really don't care how retail's positioned? I think retail's starting to make up more than 5% now. They do care how retail is positioned, definitely. And actually, retail position. If you look at the stats last year, retail made more money in that rally off the lows than institutions. Most institutions were sat on the fence off that tariff low last year, whereas retail was buying that dip. They do care mainly so that it can steal their liquidity, even if it's not very much. But you're seeing more and more retail enter the market. If you just look at the facts, you have to look at like more recent data. More and more retail enters the market now. Do I think I'll retire from trading? Yeah, 100%. From day trading, 100%. I want to get to the point where I'm just in investments and swing trading. 100%. I don't want to do this every day for the rest of my life. I want to be able to just check my positions in the morning and, you know, go and play an old man's game like golf or something, have a beer at lunch. I'd much rather do that than sit in front of a screen all day. I don't find this enjoyable. It's enjoyable to an extent, but not long term. It's who wants to do this long term? I don't know. It's a young person's game, I think. I already feel too old for it. All right, failing 27,000 again. Still haven't run the stops. How long for lunch? 8 minutes into lunch. How are we doing on the likes? Still not there. You guys are sluggish nowadays. I'm going to get to the point where we're going to have to stop doing giveaways at 1,000 because we have 2,500 people in here each day. You make your money. I help you guys. It's free. And you can't do the basics to help me back. Spider's still stuck. Spider's putting in lower lows, lower lows, and lower highs. Lower hose. We all love a lower hoe. Lower lows and lower highs on an M5. NQ holding really well. Lower hose. Bolts and hose. Sorry. Time for lunch. Yeah, exactly. Freudian slip. Freudian slip there. All right. Do they go for it before lunch? This is the question at the moment. Do they go for it before lunch? I'm really surprised they just haven't cleared out all this liquidity above. I think it's probably coming. It's a matter of time. I don't think they do nothing about this. Boats and Hoes. What a film. Long time since we didn't see IB to VWAP. Well, yeah. I mean, you've seen it. You've seen it on ES, right? So you've seen the divergence. You've seen it on ES. IB to VWAP. You've seen it. Big divergence day. No news day as well. But daily is in breakout. You know, the daily is in breakout. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you. No, I'm not playing any music. Sorry. 1,500 likes for Arsenal to win the Prem. Oh, be dreaming. Big game tonight, man. Let's hope City fluff their lines. I find it unlikely. All right, we'll do a giveaway at the top of the hour. Look, we've got Mr. Algo's come on here with 20-point spread each side trying to fill the book. We'll see. You can see an algorithm's just joined the tape here. 80, 85, 90s, and he's selling at 90, 95, 27,000. So we'll see what this algo does. No, we're not doing Lucid giveaway. We're doing My Funded Futures giveaway. All right, here they go. Are they finally going to go and pop these stops? This is what we just talked about for this like inverted head and shoulders. I will be very surprised if they do not run all these stops up here. They've done so much work, and there is now someone joining the bid here at 85s, 80s, and 90s, and 95s now. He's just pulled his 95. I'll be very surprised. The delta is a problem, though. If you look at 27,000 now, there's a 443 lot now stuck at 27,000. So you need price above that for any continuation. It's a big level where a buyer or multiple buyers have got stuck here all day. That's your big level. But I think you are about to probably get a squeeze out here. Just into lunch. Here it goes. So finally, we talked about this all flipping day. How long can they take to do it? So 27,000. Can they hold above 27,000 or are they going to fail up here again? They still haven't created a high and swept everything. These are still lower highs up here. You want to see it break basically 10s to get your move to 35s. Failed again. I'm very surprised they haven't taken out all the liquidity above. That's your high, lower high, lower high, lower high. I'm surprised they haven't just done one more squeeze out. It might be coming into lunch. Hopefully. It's Burnley come on. I know it's Burnley come on, but you just never know, all right? A man's got a hope and dream nowadays. I mean, we have to hope for them to fluff their lines like I talked about. That's all I can do now is hope, pray, and dream. 475 lot now stuck here at 27,000. Couldn't it just be an order? No, it's not an order because it's filled. They're not stuck if it's passive. It's an order that's already been filled multiple times. You have 475 buy contracts who have already been filled at an average price of 27,000. So all the time we're not above them. That is a massive amount of buy side delta stuck. It is not waiting to get filled. It is already filled. Otherwise, they're not stuck, right? Really simple. Not doing anything until ES is past 160 yet. I mean, I don't think it doesn't look like it's going to get past that. It just looks like a very choppy sort of session on ES. Just stuck between basically New York Open 160 and IB. That's it. You meant that order was filled from a stop loss. It doesn't matter why it was filled, but I can tell you there was a passive seller up there who got met with a big buyer. We watched it this morning at 10:40. It doesn't matter why it was filled there. We just know it's delta outlying. So whoever is stuck here, that's where they're stuck. You can have whatever theory you want on it. That's the level. 27,000 is the level. Fact. Like, look, we cannot get above 27,000, right? And if we look at the outlying delta. It's flipping huge. Everything above this is buy side, all right? So the auction up there could be over. I'm surprised they haven't cleaned it out, but they haven't cleaned it out. That's just the fact. You can only play with what's happening. That is the fact. They haven't cleaned it out. This PA is worse than Globex. It's pretty slow. Yeah, it's pretty slow. But we've had numerous attempts to break it. ES is dragging it. Is dragging this market. So it might be that it just can't do it. Today might not be the day. And we're back in this big fat node again. And I would not want to be trading this big fat node. Inverse head and shoulders. Well, it's just failed to break the neckline, hasn't it? Again. So you've had numerous attempts. Look, if you're talking about this on the micro, it's failed again. It can come up for it, but it's failed again. Look at this, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Just running more stops here again, trying to get back up. And they're failing again into this range. Dreadful. Dreadful. We're at 1K likes. Okay, awesome. Let me just check that. Okay, set something up here. All right, you guys know the score. Type FZT in once in chat and we get you the best deal on most of your prop firms. Type that once and we'll pick a winner from my funded futures. How much of my Discord do I devote to swing trading and long-term investing? I mean, it's not like a devotion, but we have a channel in there where I call what I'm looking for and people can ask questions of what they're looking at. I don't know how to say it, how to put that in terms of time, but we do have a dedicated channel to it, if that's what you mean. Okay, breaking down here. Bottom side of the grey box. Starting to see failures here. ES still holding on. I wouldn't say it's a short position until they let go of everything. At the moment, they're not willing to let go. You might just see some profit taking into lunch here. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do this. So bottom side of the grey box, and they're trying to bid back up again. I think this is dangerous up here. But if and when they crack, there is a move back down to here. But we're not seeing this right now. We're just seeing this churned, this be absorbed, this be sold. This is your range to play. And I don't play ranges like that, especially up here. Give you guys, put a timer on this, another 30 seconds. And there's so many imbalances lower still to fill if they do want to come down at some point today. All of these down here and here, if they want to do want to come down, but they have to break out of this range, which they have not done all day. We've been here since 10, we can just call it 10:20, 10:15, right? This is the range, 3 parts of it. All right, let's pick this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Josh 1515. Josh 1515. Are you here, Josh? 1515. Give you a minute. Nice. Congrats, Josh. All right. So here's my first question. Do you already trade with my funded futures or not? Do you already trade with them, Josh? No, but I set up account. Yeah, perfect. So if you can do that first, set an account up. You don't have to buy an account or anything, but just set an account up and then email me info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube and let me know your email for the account. And I'll get it a new 50K account transferred to you. All right, so if you do that today, we'll get that sorted. All right, buddy? All right, back to the top side. So chop, chop, chop in the grey box. Still no acceptance over 27,000. Still no acceptance underneath the 50s. We just chop around in a 50-point range. That's all this market can do right now. That's where we're stuck. That's what we're doing. I just want to wait here a minute longer just to see if this actually breaks out. They're actually going to do something here into lunch. Or if we see what we've seen the last few days of like the profit take into lunch, which is just a big old dump. Should be hilarious. Is there guys higher still? Have they left before lunch? They're still up at 35s. I am surprised we haven't gone and taken that 35. I'm going to be honest with you. But maybe they just save it. So into this big buy delta again. You can see on the right side of the screen, 475 buy side delta, 27,000. They need to get over that for the expansion up into 35. Right, they're over it again. Can they hold a bid over it? This is the big question. Can they hold a bid over this and then run and break high of day and run all the stops out? And can ES get over that 160? Still stuck here. So we've added more buy side delta here. Now 515 lot stuck here. So we need to hold above 27,000 for any chance to move higher. 510 lot, 509. Here they go. They're going to go for these highs. So this 27,000 absolutely key here. If they can hold it, they should come and take out these highs up here. And if you are long, you want to take profit in whatever move happens here, you must be taking profit into it. You can hold runners, but you must be taking profit in the stop run up here. You do not want to hold on above that. And it needs to base above 27,000. Right, it's me just trying to help you. I've got no position in this, but trying to help you. Tons of absorption up here. Yeah, exactly. Well, 500 lots of absorption up here. This delta is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and buyers are getting more and more caught. But I'm surprised that they haven't run the stops and then come back down, to be honest. That's what I would do. If I was a market maker, I would run this out over high of day, run all the short stops out, make them become buyers, and then flip it down the other way. That's what I would do. if I was a market maker and I was like, we need liquidity, I would run this, run all the short stops, make them become market buyers and sell into it. And then I can look for that if I really wanted downside. But I would be looking for that move if I was a market maker to get my profits out, because it's probably hard for them to trim in here over and over and over again. That's just me, is how I would think about it. Yeah, still failing at 160, by the way. Still failing at 160. Is this considered consolidation? Yeah, it's definitely consolidation. Look, this. Whenever you see a high volume node, all right, it means we do this. Right, we don't create volume by just going above it. All right, so high volume node is a rotation. If they hold above a rotation, they've got a chance of this move. If they hold below a rotation, they've got a chance of this move. In here, all right, technically speaking, you'd be trading edges, but the overall sentiment, right, is bullish. You can see here was a rotation as well earlier. Look at this, right? Node, top side, bottom side, top side, bottom side, top side, midpoint, missed the reload. Alex went to the toilet, bang. All right, and we trade thin through here, and we create the same thing here, and they have to make the decision if they do this or they come back to this, because this is thin. All right, so that's how you use volume. You got to know when it's a high volume node, we will chop inside the node. We can use the edges as support and resistance, all right, because they are the start. If you think about this to here can be support for a trap, but it can also turn this into resistance and wash. This can be support for a base, but it can also be a failed break, wash, wash, wash. All right, so in here we chop. This is why I try and leave the areas alone. Hopefully that makes sense to you lot. Two ways to collect points: large moves or back and forth ranges. Yeah, I agree with that. But I know for me, my weakness is trading range. So I try and avoid trading range, right? That's what I hate, trading range. I don't trade range well. I know my stats aren't very good in range. You can see even today, my 2 losses were basically trying to trade continuation and range, right? That's where I make losses frequently. That's where I lose money. So I try. How do you become more profitable as a trader? Is it sizing up? Is it trading new strategies? Is it drifting away from strategies? No. I'll tell you how you become more profitable. You cut out the trades that you aren't very good at, right? So if you're really good, for example, if you're great at trading the opening range break, that's your trade, and you'll have, let's say you have a 60, 70, 80% success rate on that, but you try and trade an extension or trend or, I don't know, pullback to VWAP, whatever you want to call, and you have like a 40% win rate, right? Stop trading that and trade what you have a 60% win rate at, right? And then you'll watch your P&L factor grow. Again, golf is not a game of perfect, right? Get around with the 8 iron. Get around the course with an 8 iron for par. Trading these. Stop getting your driver out and going for bogey. God, he can't. Bogey, right? Stop going for bogeys. Start taking your par setup. What do I use for stat analysis? I actually handwrite. I've always handwritten. I don't really do stuff now, but I know for a fact that's where I am. Would you be holding longs from 26,950? 950. I mean, as long as you've paid yourself some into here, yes. But you've got to know, like, that's the level, right? If you start losing the 50s, right, then we can trade down into this block, and you start losing this, you see weakness down to here. The retest, remember the daily retest, that's our breakout. The retest can come into here. So you have to be aware of that. If they lose, let's say they build this, I'll clean this up. This is possible over the next few days if we remain bullish. If we remain bullish and they don't get a breakout today, we can build this liquidity here. We can drift down, doesn't have to be today, into here. We can come back into here. We can build this out again, and then we can go. Because if we leave stops in here, shorts, and they chase the market here, and they get trapped here, and we come back to them there, they get nervous, then we can expand higher, right? Because the breakout point on a daily is still here. Remember, think about this. What did we do here before? Right? Shorts come in, we fade away from here. Shorts add the lows, they get caught yesterday down into here. We drift back up, we build liquidity in this range here, same range as here. Breakout, all right? Retest will be this range. We can do the same thing again if they're in a continuation higher. All right, it'll be exactly the same kind of move. So it's a game of liquidity. As always, you've got funny little algorithms just come on sell side, by the way, and see them from 27,000 just try to chase price down. So just be aware of that. I can see it on the tape into lunch. Right, last few questions before I go. Do I use market orders? Where possible, I use limit orders, but sometimes I have to market in. But I hate marketing in when it's a fast-moving tape. So like here, I was looking for this. Once we did this, I wasn't willing to market because it moved too quick. So I just left it. How do I spot the algos on the tape? These guys. Where's Bookmap? Right, no one is able to move an order this quick. Right, we're talking about a nanosecond. Down, 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 down to follow it. Right, come in here. Right, this chase. Look at this chase. Chase, 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 chase. That's an algorithm chasing. No human is chasing like that. No one is chasing like that. That's an algorithm. My high time frame, lower time frame algos, yeah, they're down here. Here's my lower time frame. We're bullish. We're multi-time frame trend bullish. Flow zones are above lower time frame algo. Higher time frame algo would be even lower right now. I'll have to find him. Where is he? Clean this up and find it. Here. So we're stacked correctly. Lower time frame algo is over higher time frame algo. Flow zones are above both. All right, we're bullish pro trend seen up here. How much leverage do you use? What do you mean? I mean, futures are a leverage product, so wouldn't that mean how many contracts are you using versus the size of your account? It's an odd question. I'm bad at money management. I know the basic 1, 2, 3 risk reward, but the way you do it by TP1, TP2, adding, etc. when you learn, do you teach that in your course? Yeah, it's all in there. Alex, do you need to do color commentary on sports? You'd be great. I'd be awful, man. I'm too passionate about my teams. I wouldn't be able to be unbiased, I think. All right, folks, I'm out of here. You know the deal. Again, I would not be fighting this tape short side. All right, you would. The only way I would be short in this market is if you had a blowout and you came back under this and you trapped all the buyers up here and you got this exit down to there. Again, this would be your counter trend, H1 short. This is not a pro trend, right? If we lose this, we go back inside daily and weekly range. The big short opportunity only comes when we break down underneath 26,400, really. Until that point, right, I will remind you the importance of zooming out. Until that point, we are very bullish, right? Think about what we've done. Failed to break down, ran the stops, came back in, broken out. This is the range, all right? We've broken out of the range. Anything that you take short would be a pullback into that range. We'd expect expansion back out of that range. We fail that range, then we can trade the edge of the range to the other side. But given what happened here yesterday, we're in expansion mode. We'd expect some form of pullback and go right now. All right, so just if you're going to be adamant in being short, just make sure you understand we're not breaking down. It's not like yesterday where we looked above and we were breaking down. It's very different. This is very different. We're using this liquidity to trade higher right now. All right, team. I will be back tomorrow morning. And if you're long in this, you better be taking profits in these drives higher, as it attempts to drive higher anyway. We go again tomorrow. Those in Discord are popping in this afternoon. I'm going to have to limit my trading here. I've had 3 attempts, 1 winner, 2 losses. So we're going to have to be very, very careful. And I'll see you again in the morning. Team, to the guy that won, what was his name? I did make a note of it. Josh, make sure you shoot me that email. And yeah, peace and love. Use hard stops, all that good stuff. Be very careful of headlines. As always, be careful of headlines. And I'll see you guys in the morning.